Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome on this Saturday morning. It is the very first Saturday in November of 2022, and you are watching me, Dave Lefkowitz, live on Facebook, or if you're watching this later, you're watching on davesgoneby.com or archive.org, or still on the Facebook page, Dave's Gone By, or the YouTube. You could be watching anywhere. You could be, this could be the year 2047. And at this point, all you're doing is pressing a button in the back of your head and thinking, Dave's Gone By. Which episode do I want to watch? I think I'll watch one from, pardon me. I think I'll watch one from 2022. When in 2022? How about early November? And it'll just go, bing, and there will be. And you'll be watching this episode, which for you is not live. As a matter of fact, 2047, I will likely already be dead. So it will be, I will have gone by. I will literally have gone by. And yet, here I am. Dave Lefkowitz doing the 870th episode of this program. If you've been watching, if you've been following along, if you're a friend on Facebook, you know that back on October 6th, I can't believe that was already basically a month ago, we did our 20th anniversary episode. Warm up the morning throat there. 20th anniversary episode for when we went on the air in October of 2002 on terrestrial radio out on Long Island. And here we are all these years later, and yes, I am outside. Yes, this is beautiful northern Maryland, northern Baltimore, Maryland, where I'm doing the show while we still have this extraordinary weather. Everything started getting, I gotta get used to the weather here in Maryland. We've been living here literally 3 months as of this day. And so when we got here, it was the absolute peak and brutal peak of summer. It was just like 89 degrees, 90 degrees all day, every day, just the sun shining, no rain. And it was still lovely. And the garden was gorgeous that we have here. But it was also like, oh my God. And we didn't know how to keep our lawn alive, and we didn't know, just basically trying to stay indoors and stay in the car and go to where we had to go. Until we realized that was kind of unusual for Maryland. There was a weird rainless heat wave, and although we get really hot summers, we also, it's friggin' Maryland, you get rain. Look at the Counting Crows song go, like, it's raining in Baltimore. Very often, it's raining in Baltimore. So, but for those 3 weeks when we first moved in, it did not rain in Baltimore. I think one time for about 15 minutes, we got a little scattered shower, and the lawn looked up and went, and started dying again. And then, about a little less than a month after we moved in, the weather changed. It got about 10 degrees cooler, and rain came for like a straight week. And all the lawns went, whee! And everything went gorgeous again. And it was very incredibly pleasant. And then we've had on and off sort of like mid-fall weather, back with almost Indian summer weather. And the past 2 weeks, I don't even want to jinx it, because supposedly for one more week we're going to get more beautiful, like 50s, low 50s in the morning, which is chilly, and then into the mid 60s all day long. And I'm sitting here 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time time in the Daverhood. That's Daverhood time for you, which will change overnight tonight. But my shirt sleeves and just loving the atmosphere. I hope you have that too. Apparently New York has, like everyone on the East Coast, has been enjoying this beautiful weather. And it reminded me of what we kind of lost in Colorado all those years that we were living there. Because in New York, year after year after year, we would go to my aunt's house for Thanksgiving, right? She would have Thanksgiving dinner or late Thanksgiving lunch, really. Watch a football game, go around the house, etc. And that was the weekend. Thanksgiving weekend was always the one where the weather went to crap. We always were expecting crappy weather all the way from like October into November because it was autumn, right? You got through summer, and then early September is supposed to be beautiful weather, and then late September, October is like, we're moving towards winter, everything's dying, it's going to be chilly and cold and rainy and drizzly and ugh. And it really wasn't like that for year after year in New York. But you knew, like Thanksgiving, okay, great, incredible food, and the trees are still kind of, already the trees are mostly dying, but you still got some beautiful foliage and leaves changing. But that was the weekend. You'd have football on the TV, and it would be 40 degrees outside and raining and snaining and drizzling, and you knew that was it. We're not going to have really sustained, decent, nice weather until sometime in late March. It was over. You felt lucky that you made it through October. It was nice, and even early November, you thought, hey, how come it's not as cold as it's supposed to be, or not as damp or chilly? And then Thanksgiving would come and remind you, it's like, yes, you're on the East Coast. It gets dark at 4:58 p.m. now, and you're going to get out the winter coat, and in a week or two, you're going to need that shovel for the first time, and then the season would continue. And in Colorado, we didn't have that because in Colorado, by mid-October, you were already bracing for the first snowfall. That was the thing. I loved Colorado weather. I sometimes miss Colorado weather, but it would be really chilly in the mornings by early October, gorgeous in the daytime, sunny and beautiful. But before Halloween, you would already get 2 to 4 inches of a snowfall where we were living in Colorado. And we weren't in like Vail or these ski snowpack areas. We're in a very climatized, nice part. And all parts of Colorado are nice, but this nice temperate area. And even so, we kind of knew, Halloween's coming. It's not about witches, it's not about goblins, it's not about anything like that. It's just about crap, get the snow shovel. It's going to be that first one, and it's not going to break your back, it's not going to be 1.5 feet, but it's just enough to be like, you need the boots that won't get wet, you need the shovel, you can get it all done in like 2 stops. One would be a little too arduous. You need to have a little hot cocoa in between. Like, do the front, rest, do the back. You're good. It takes like 45 minutes. But, that hasn't, at least this year. It doesn't really happen on the East Coast, I guess, anymore because of maybe global warming or something. So we get this weather now. Certainly for the week ahead. That's what they're predicting. And maybe for another week. And then Thanksgiving, I'll betcha dollars to donuts. I'll look out on a Saturday morning, 2 Saturdays from now, and it'll be like, we're going to friends for Thanksgiving maybe, and this, and then, it's a little raw, and it's becomes glove weather. That's the worst, and because when you go outside, you have to put on a light coat or something like, I want to make a winter coat. The way they make winter coats now, they're so light and so gently puffy. And they'll keep you warm in like -7 degrees Fahrenheit weather. You go into the closet, it's like, this is a winter coat? And you put it on, and there you are. It's 10 degrees outside, and you have a hat, you're fine. But it's that weather where you're going to be outside for any period of time. Not only do you need the hat, not only do you need, obviously, socks on. You can't go in flip-flops, which I hate, or Birkenstocks or what have you. You've gotta get the gloves on. And as soon as it's glove weather, and hey babe, what?
Why aren't you wearing your jacket?
Because it's actually quite nice out. So it's a slight bit chilly when the sun. That's my darling and adorable wife Joyce here. Hello, Joyce. Joyce is waving. You can't see her on camera. But hello.
Get my coat.
If you have your coat, it's beautiful out. I'm telling you. And it is certainly not glove weather, because glove weather is when your knuckles feel wet and raw. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. I mean, it's not like going to the dentist or living through Auschwitz, but besides those two, it's like dentist, Auschwitz, raw, rained-on knuckles, and gotta get the gloves on, and that's when it really all goes to hell. And that's when you just count the weeks. And it's like, oh God, January, forever, January. And February's only saving grace is that it's short, right? So February, and then like early March, You're still going to get that one big snowstorm, but it's like, it'll melt. I don't give a crap. It's here. I'll shovel a little bit, but within 4 days, it's just going to be melted and piled over there, and spring is on its way. Well, spring is not on its way here in northern Maryland, but summer hasn't 100% kissed us goodbye, even though it is November 5th, 2022. And I'm here with an episode of this program which mixes nutty talk, humor, interviews, a little bit of culture, just a lot of nonsense, basically, for 3 hours every Saturday morning from 9 until noonish Eastern Time here in what we call the Daverhood. So, my usual recent disappointment, though, it was like, we all know this. We've all been shopping and stuff since mid-August, right? Before even Labor Day. All the stores had their Halloween stuff out. Yeah. Halloween's a big deal. It's like the second biggest costume and decoration holiday besides Christmas now in America. So, before school starts, as soon as early August rolls around, like after July 4th, honest to God, after July 4th, the stores, the Rite Aids, the Duane Reeds, the, what the heck do they call them? The Walgreens, man, they already start making like 5 shelves ready with pumpkin things and scary mugs and stupid costume things. And it's like, it's friggin', July 4th, man. It's not literally a month after summer has begun. Summer starts, June 21st? And July 4th rolls around. Everybody puts the flags away, and the bunting and the streamers and the fireworks, and then Halloween decorations. What the? Yeah, and I have literally talked about this stuff since the first week, I think, that this program went on the air, or maybe the first month. This insane blurring of time that we do owing to holidays in this country and merchandising in this country. But, okay, fine, Halloween. I love sweets, I love candy. Halloween, fair enough. So, and then by early September, they're getting the shelves ready with candies. Right? And what's kind of cool is that even though candy is crazy now, M&M, Mars, and those corporations, those organizations, it's like, it's $4.50 for a 12-ounce bag of little baby Snicker bars, or can't even find Three Musketeers. For Three Musketeers, I pay it, but Snickers bars and Starburst and the Fruit Chews and Skittles, which nobody likes, and Dum Dums and whatever crap, and $4.50 for this like nothing little bag. I don't want to pay $5 for a pound of chocolate, and here it is like little more than half a pound. And this is what they charge. But you go into these drugstores and these convenience stores and the supermarkets, and really because they want you to buy there, they do the discounts. They do buy one, get half off. So if you buy the $4.50 bag of candy, you do get the next one for $2, so it winds up to $3-ish a piece. It's the times we live in. You pay it, because you won't have candy available and ready. And my wife and I are not really holiday people, and we want to be left alone. We're not people per se. My wife is much more, outgoing and extroverted with people than I am, but her too, huh? Oh my, I gotta show the picture Joyce is talking about, but
I only have one of the googly eyes.
Joyce is going to show, speaking of Halloween, a meme that I was able to do. I made really my very first meme. It's a second-long video.
Is it showing on Facebook?
I haven't been able to, or I haven't had time to upload it, but it's fantastic. I have it because I sent it to my old gang at where I used to work.
I'll give you which one, the one that I made or the one you made?
And it's just the one. I downloaded it from Google Drive.
But there's also the one. Where's your phone?
I don't know where I don't know where my
So
phone
I'll
is.
show you
It's
this
probably
one.
plugged in
No, I'll
there.
show you this one here.
We have it. We have a meme coming
But
at you.
you have the meme of you with the with the snake.
That one, yes.
I don't have that one.
I have that somewhere, but you
I'll
have
get that, yeah.
the witchy-eyed woman. So we go to. I'll get back to my other
So
thing.
this is
in
the
a bit.
picture of it.
Well, yeah.
That's the picture of David.
Let's explain this. We were
And
going
then-
to. Was that not Home Depot? What was that?
We got a rug for Lowe's, which we might return.
Lowe's.
But
Right.
look at that. That's David.
Not because it's damaged, but just because we're not sure we
Okay.
like the rug.
Okay, and then I'm going to show the video.
So
okay?
you have to make this viral. If I post this on Facebook, this is what happens. So now that Elon Musk owns Twitter.
Now, do you want me to get your phone and show the other one?
Yes,
about the
show
snake?
the snaky thing. I think the phone is plugged in
Where is it?
to charging in there. I think that's the first place to look. Thank you, Ben. But, you know, spend $8 a month, get yourself an official Twitter handle so that you can tweet that meme.
I don't understand. Why do you have to get an official one?
Oh, you haven't heard about this whole
I
Elon
know
Musk?
that Elon Musk is going to make it official. There used to be official ones, so it wasn't fake, but...
But he wants now celebrities and high mucky muck people who want their Twitter feeds to be like, this really is Gwyneth Paltrow.
I think
this really
they used
is.
to do that when it first came out.
Yeah.
So Twitter used to do that. They used to have like a verified account.
Right.
That was very common.
They're still going to do that, but you have to pay for
Yeah.
it.
Oh, someone called you from a 303. Is that your guest?
That's Colorado. I'm assuming
Okay,
it's
okay, I
that's
don't know that,
garbage.
okay.
Yeah. No, everybody's calling me from Colorado now because it's voting time, and they think I still live in Colorado. But here, okay. We have another meme, also
Wait, it's
taken at.
My autoplay is off. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Your phone is not good.
No, it's not.
It actually is good. I got it for you.
Yes,
I
it
can't
is
say
good.
it's not good. It's better than
It's
nothing.
half good, it's half not good. There you go.
Okay.
My phone does not have an official Twitter thing. This is another meme. You can decide which meme.
Wait, let me get the other one side by side. Hold
Yeah.
on.
So here's one
I know how
meme.
to keep playing it, right?
Notice the thing, the tongue in the background as well as my own.
Yeah, but this one has noise too. Why is there making noise? Let's switch sides, in case it's a side thing. Wait, no, get the snake in. You don't have the snake.
That's
Bring
what
the
she
snake.
said.
No, bring it in.
So
Okay, yeah.
bring it back, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to see the snake. That thing is moving along with my tongue. My mistake was, the one problem with this one is my tongue is moving too fast compared to the
Well, the eyes of the witch are going faster than your eyes.
that I cannot help.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh no!
What happened?
And that's my all important piece of paper here. You know who used to do this? David Letterman. You know who we're going to talk about somewhat on the show today?
I can't stop it.
David Letterman was someone who
Why?
probably has some stories to tell.
Why?
So, well,
How are you so lively in the morning? It's calm yourself down.
I've been up since like 6 o'clock, or 7.
Crazy.
So,
Doing this.
if
This is how David gets ready.
you want that as a meme, please
Why don't
tweet
you
it officially.
put it on the Facebooky?
I will. I
It's
haven't
really
had a lot of
cool.
time this week to do a lot of things, but
It's very cool.
it's a fabulous thing. So.
I don't think I can get on the Facebook this way.
Yeah. Also, I was going to literally think about posting on Facebook last night.
Mhm.
I was, because I downloaded it. I sent the gang at
What
my
did
old
they
work
say?
email. Well, they just wanted to say hi, and they miss me and all that kind of
So you sent
stuff.
a picture of that?
I sent a
which
picture of
one,
that
the
meme.
snake
Of
one or
no,
the
with
one?
my eyeballs rolling.
Oh, of course.
And I was going to post it on Facebook, and then that was when I learned that we lost another friend of the Daverhood this week, Douglas McGrath.
Remind me. The name is so familiar.
Douglas McGrath, the writer and director and actor, he co-wrote
Yeah.
with Woody Allen the Woody Allen film Bullets Over Broadway.
Oh, I saw that. That was like a lesser.
Well, that's what was a
Yeah.
pretty good one. And then they even made a Broadway musical out of it that Douglas McGrath did the book for.
I'm trying
He
to
wrote-
get in. I'm trying to get in the Facebook outside here, David.
Yeah, he wrote the book for the huge Broadway hit Beautiful, the Carole King musical,
Oh.
which had a pretty good book actually.
People like that, yeah. Didn't it win a Tony?
I think it won a few Tonys for. I don't know if it won Best Musical.
No, but it won a bunch, I
Yeah.
think.
It was a delightful show. It really was. So Douglas McGrath wrote and appearing
It's
appearing
giving me
in
last week's show, David.
an off-Broadway show. I think it's called Everything's Fine, but I could be.
Are you live? Oh, you are.
Supposedly I am. Supposedly I'm live.
Okay.
Are you unable to get me? Because I shut down my Facebook on.
It says David was live, but I'm not in the.
Well, I'm recording. Maybe I need to get Facebook back up because I shut it down.
I can look on my computer. You want me to check?
Well, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to see if I'm.
Okay.
I wonder if I'm live.
I don't know, David, but I'm looking at it's my phone, so it's not probably the best.
Let's see what I'm doing. Let's see if I'm actually live, because I cut this down to get more bandwidth and stuff. Well, maybe I'm live now. So
I don't know, David, but I'm looking.
There we go.
Oh yeah, okay.
Maybe I have to keep that up in order to be live. I don't know. Anyway, Douglas McGrath. So literally off Broadway. Over the past couple of weeks, he's been appearing in his own show. And on apparently, I think Thursday night, he just didn't wake up.
What happened?
The man was in his 60s.
Yeah, that's
and he passed away. So we lost.
Did they
every
say
week
why?
now? It's a friend of the day. I haven't seen at that time. No, it was just an unexpected, sudden. He wasn't, as far as we know, suffering any kind of, illness or.
Yeah.
I don't know if now it'll come out. Oh yes, he's been battling cancer for that. I don't know. I don't know. Please, here, give a look. Douglas McGrath.
Okay, I'm having trouble accessing stuff. So I'll look.
But anyway, apologies if we were quote unquote off the live Facebook stream for a few minutes because I closed down that window, but I think I'm live. I should be live now, no matter what.
Yeah.
And if you missed the all-important stuff I was talking about Halloween and googly eyes, remember that our archives go on davesgoneby.com when the show is over and Facebook when the show is over. So, getting back to the Halloween stuff. So, bought a big bag of candy. And, it was like $15 for 80 pieces of candy or some crap.
It was starring and everything's fine.
Everything, I was saying, everything's fine.
That's really
But did they,
That's
it was just
really
sudden.
sad.
Yeah.
It says the cause of death was not immediately available. And he has a picture with John Lithgow.
I think he was mainlining crack.
Everybody loved him. He's got a lot of,
Well, every time somebody drops dead on, Facebook, suddenly it's like, here's my picture with, and I did it too.
I'll look at his Wikipedia, but it doesn't say.
Yeah. I posted, he was on the show, I think about 5 years ago, or maybe longer than that, and posted yesterday on Facebook Rabbi Saul Solomon's interview with him.
It just says theater run was cut short by his death. It doesn't say, died from a heart attack.
Oh, heart attack.
Can you read it?
Let's see. McGrath died from a heart attack at his office in Manhattan at the age of 64.
Yeah. He had been performing
5.5 years older than I am, and go on, man.
Yeah.
So, I'm counting my days.
He married Woody Allen's former assistant.
Ah.
Did you know that? Here.
Well, he and Allen have a long-standing working relationship. He acted in a couple of Allen's films, and co-wrote, as I said, Bullets Over Broadway, and worked with Allen on the Broadway musical of Bullets Over Broadway. And McGrath, here, I can read you just his partial filmography. I guess he wrote for Saturday Night Live for a while. He wrote, he was an actor in Quiz Show and Company Man, the Woody Allen film Small Time Crooks and Hollywood Ending. And he directed some films. He directed Company Man, and documentaries. He did the Becoming Mike Nichols documentary, which I would really like to see. And in terms of theater stuff, anyway. And Emma, the Gwyneth Paltrow movie, he wrote that.
If you want me to look anything
based on Jane Austen. So, no, thank you. Thank you for your...
I don't know why my Facebook is all...
I don't know either.
I'm sorry, David.
But it's cool. Anyway, let me get back to Halloween. So, we buy the candy, and we really don't even want to be home.
I'm not home. I'm teaching.
On Halloween night, right? It was... What was it? It was Monday night. It was last Monday night. But I am home. I teach half the day on Mondays, and then I'm home. And we also have our housekeeper comes like once a month, and she was there for part of it. So that's a problem. I couldn't just shut all the lights down and hide in the bedroom and put on music and just kind of make me, no, I'm home. Because I don't want to deal with children.
David, do you just have your thing just for friends?
I shouldn't.
Because why don't I see it on my...
I don't know.
No, I'm sure that it's playing.
There's 5,000 people, maybe only people who our
friends?
friends can watch it live, and I
Oh,
don't know how it is.
yes. I think that's
But
right.
you should be my friend. How
No,
could you not be my friend?
No, this is another account that I have for work. This is my work account.
Yeah, no, I'm not friends with you at work. That would be
No,
incredibly. That would be breaking all these FERPA rules.
No, I don't know how to do.
And I've had Furpies, and it really is painful after a while.
Chat.
You have to take penicillin. So.
But people are writing on your Facebook, and I can't
see
it.
Are.
Go look. There's people.
Let me see if I can. Let me check. The Facebook page.
I saw someone give you like thumbs up or something.
Oh, thumbs up! I'll give myself a thumbs up. Thank you, Michael and Yvonne. Oh, Yvonne from
the printing company.
Minute Man. Yeah. And what else? And one other. Who's one other? Oh, Tony. Hey, Tony. Yeah. Any chance you're gonna put me in your theater anytime soon? Ever? And Michael. Thank you, Michael. So yeah, I'm not bitter. So.
That's ugly.
I don't care. I'm 58 years old. This guy died when he was 64. I'm sure I'm gonna get killed in like a car crash. I'm getting the feeling. I drive every day now.
David, don't say that, please.
I'm thinking if I'm gonna go early,
you're not gonna.
That's
go
how I'm
early.
gonna go. Or that one pastrami sandwich has one trimming of too much fat on it, and it'll send a clot. From my stomach.
It's called an embolism.
Yeah.
I hope not. Yeah, you should live forever, David.
I'll live.
Yeah.
But and so should you. I'll. So here's the deal. I buy candy, and I'm home. I'm home on Halloween afternoon, evening. I don't really want to be, and I don't want to deal with people tromping to the door and children and So, but I can't really avoid it because we have the woman, Gesundheit, lovely woman who comes to vacuum and dust and really cleans. She does a very, very nice job. And because Gesundheit, we barely have any furniture, and because we just moved in, initially she said, well, every 2 weeks. And I was like, we don't have anything to clean. There are rooms we don't even go into. You vacuum them, and like you can see, Gesundheit, the vacuum marks on the carpet. 3 weeks later, it's like, so we worked it out that for now. She comes once a month and it works out perfectly. But, the only time we can have her that day, and, first world white people problems, right? The only time we can have her on that Monday is after I've come home from teaching. So it's got to be in the late afternoon. Sun's going down. It's evening time. Parents are out there with their children. And now she's downstairs. All the lights are on. And there's no way to say, nobody home.
Yeah, but the kids were better than what they did with Vicky's apartment.
What did they do?
Remember, the kid took the bowl and poured all the bowl in his basket.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do. So at first, I'm kind of hearing, and one of the nice things is our doorbell doesn't work, which is a wonderful thing.
It's crazy,
you hit it and there's nothing, and I'm wondering why of all things when we bought the house, why did they never have a working door? Now I understand. And the times we live in, nobody really needs to be ringing your doorbell much.
I would like to have a ring where it goes to our phone. We could do that.
Yeah. But so I'm guessing there are people walking up to our door, ringing, and then coming away really disgruntled. And I'm kind of okay with that. But then I see, coming down the street, this poor kid, I assume is a kid, could have been a midget, coming down the street in a full and complete and adorable dinosaur costume. He's like towering over the other kids. The thing has to be like my height. And he's just stumbling.
He was the parent. Was he the parent?
No, that was the beautiful thing.
Are you sure?
Not 100%. It wasn't so. I mean, the first parent must have been crouching. Because it wasn't big enough to be a parent. It was a kid costume. But it was literally head to foot. They went the whole 9 yards to step into a giant dinosaur costume from head to foot. And I'm like, I've got to say that is really freaking cute.
Yeah.
So I look out and I see all these kids running up and down with their parents either with them physically holding by the hand or standing on the curb. And I see them going across the street and getting candy from the other neighbors. And I see them going across the street and getting candy from them. And I'm like, I bought the frickin' candy. They're out there.
You know you want to eat it.
It's hot. No, I want it all for myself.
Why are you yelling?
Because I'm outside and I'm doing my show. It's $15. I spent this. I don't want to give it to anybody. But what the hell? Let me be in the spirit of the community. Let me be a good neighbor. We just moved in. We want to make nice. And they're kids. So I go out there. Yeah, I don't go out there. I open the friggin' door because there's no way to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I could have. I could have just gone upstairs and blasted music, but and then the vacuum cleaner was blasting downstairs. It
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
yeah. So
It's crazy.
I'm there. I'm like, all right, fine. I open and like I get the first kid, and he's just standing there, and he's got one of those ring light neon halo things around his neck.
Yeah.
And if I tell you, the look on this kid
What?
was so incredibly sad and forlorn. He just came out and was like, and I'm like, yeah. And I felt for him because I hated trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
I was miserable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this kid, he's doing this because all his friends are doing it, because his parents are kind of not making him do it, but saying, your friends, it's a thing, this is what you do. And he's just standing there like, ooh. And I'm like, here, of course he didn't thank me. He just kind of gave me a look and turned away. And the parents were like, thank you very much. I'm like, yeah, thank you. And so, and now I'm kind of in it to win it. And if I tell, there's got to be between the time when they first started, and I missed the whole first wave, had to be 100 kids, because we live, unfortunately, fairly near an elementary school. Not that there's any problems, but we hear screaming in the middle of the day around lunchtime when at recess.
Every morning the police are parked out front helping to cross.
That is kind of nice. Nice to have police on the block crossing people,
Yeah.
But at the same time,
they're not police. It's a crossing guard.
No, but there's a police car. It's a patrol
that's
car.
The crossing guard, though. No? Isn't that the crossing guard?
Oh, crossing guards have like police patrol cars. That's pretty cool. Because they got the blinkers going. It looks like a cop car.
Maybe.
Yeah, went fine. Okay, nice to have that in a neighborhood. And okay, so I get that. Now I get the second wave, and it's a lot of kids, man, and and if I tell you how many of them are rude little bastard monsters.
Hey.
I'm just like, well, so I look down, right? I look at my basket of things, or the bag of things that I've got. And I'm like, oh, would you like an M&M? Or M&M, Skittles, or I think it was Twix. Right? I'm looking at M&M Skittles, because I didn't mention the Kit Kat that I wanted.
Oh, because you like Kit Kat.
Yeah, I wanted to keep the Kit Kat. I was like, so M&M, Skittles, and the kid just points and goes, Kit Kat!
Because the kid's smart like you. He's like, I want the chocolate.
I wanted to smack the little bastard.
No, I'll tell you, I trick-or-treated so long ago.
Yeah.
This is many years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't like chocolate. I'm not a big chocolate person. I liked the Charleston Chew because it was chewy.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't care. But everybody had a preference,
I know.
The only thing I liked was we had a candy store where they made homemade candy. And trick-or-treating there was great. They'd give you a chocolate lollipop. And it was just all chocolate, milk chocolate.
I would go to
homemade, yeah.
Oh, even now, even at my 58-year-old age, I would take go to Michael's or something and get a dummy, and dress it up as a child so I could drag it along the street and go to a house that was making homemade chocolate. That I would do. I would absolutely do.
We could bring a puppy.
Oh, a puppy in a costume would be adorable.
Yes.
So, but then the family would feel bad because they think, oh, we don't have any doggy treats. Like, doesn't matter. But dogs can't eat chocolate. It's not for the dog. Give me the candy. Moron. But I don't know. It gave me a sense of. Some kids were fine, and other kids just kind of like. And it also gave me some insight into the kids I'm teaching today, of one generation to another of just little lazy rudenicks.
Don't be so judgmental.
Why not?
Because I think what happens with a lot of people is that, quite honestly, they're exhausted. I remember being drugged around neighborhoods. The kids are tired. They're not they're not at their best shape. You can't.
They're not taking 5 classes in chemistry and
I'm talking about the little kids.
Yes, I know. They're in an elementary school for maybe 6 hours a day, doing a little bit of homework.
You don't know. You can't speak of what you don't know. I think you gotta dial it back a bit. I could judge you in that same way, and you wouldn't like if I harshly judged you.
You harshly judge me all the time.
Not really. If you think that's harsh, you want it darker?
You hold back. Okay, yeah.
I hold back,
yeah. Anyway, there's no holding back. more of this episode of Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife Joyce, and all of you watching and listening at home. Let's see, do we have any more? I'm always fearful when I do this. Do we have any more comments or people who are saying hi? Because if we don't, then I feel like an idiot. I'm like, oh no, but no, same people. But give us a thumbs up, give us a hi, give us a something if you want to, and let us know you're out there, or even respond, because it would be really kind of cool. Anywho, hang on, I just lost this. We will have a lot of our usual items. Excuse me, on this.
Tea? You want me to make you tea?
No, I think I'm good so far. Thank you. On this episode of the show, because I alluded to David Letterman before. No, we don't have David Letterman on the show. I mean, a wide-angle lens for his beard. But we do have someone who has been connected rather directly to the David Letterman show for the better part of a decade, I do believe. He is a comedian and has been since really almost the late 1970s, got his big start in the mid-1980s, and then served as the warm-up guy for the David Letterman show when it was on NBC.
Wow.
For about 5-6 years. He was also the talent coordinator, the booker for comedians. He was the guy who would be responsible for going to the comedy clubs, for signing up people who would do their 3 or 5 minute set when they were on Letterman.
Oh, wow.
And he was the dude. And, I remember I sat there, I was there with my friend at the time, Scott. We got tickets, they were free.
When did you go? What year?
You can literally see the episode on here. We got there. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
The day that Captain Beefheart was the guest.
Oh my! You love him.
Just by sheer.
The tropical
Tropical Hot Dog Night?
That's your theme song.
Yes, Captain Beefheart. He didn't play. He didn't have the magic band.
Theme song. What did he do? Why would a musician just be a guest? Why wouldn't they play music?
Well, I don't know why he didn't have the magic band with him. He played part of a video that had just come out from his album Ice Cream for Crow. And so, thank you. What is that?
I'm giving you, what do you call that?
Don't ever leave me.
This way?
Oh, I like that.
That way or this way?
Let me see. Oh, that's pretty.
Okay.
That's pretty. So, but of all days to be there.
How funny is
one
that?
of our heroes, Captain Beefheart,
what do you
was
call
on the
that?
show.
Synchronicity?
Nobody knew what he was talking about. He was making a joke about Ronald Reagan and jelly beans, which, because Reagan was a jelly bean.
I'll go make you tea. I don't
yeah,
like
that'd be
this,
great. Thank you very much.
Whatever you're doing is not good.
So, but if you were there in those years, and you were waiting for the show to begin, and it was, they kept it about 37 degrees in the Ed Sullivan Theater. Well, that was CBS. At NBC, they kept it cold too. And so you get there like an hour early, and they sit you down, and they give you the rules, and they do this, and they march you through the hallway, and finally you sit down, and you're blowing on your fingers, and you want those cold gloves that I was talking about earlier, and then to really get you going, they have a person, and they do this for all the sitcoms, and they do this for every show, but they have somebody to come out there and really get the crowd in a good mood and warmed up and tumble a little bit and tell some jokes and stuff. So, well, that guy, for years, was a fellow named Eddie Brill. And Eddie Brill is still alive and well and still performing comedy. And he's going to be doing some comedy in about a week from now. Let me find his... I should have made note of his appearance, but we'll absolutely ask him. Because Eddie Brill is going to be on this episode talking to the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon, all about his career, all about, all the many, 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 many comics that he knew, and maybe some tales about Letterman and tales about other things. So yeah, if you were a Letterman fan, if you watched the show, especially during the NBC years, religiously, because it was the only thing like it on television, as great as Steve Allen was, as good as Johnny Carson did certain things, and that Jack Parr put into place, and so on, whatever. But there was something about Letterman back in that day when they were finding the sweet spot that was so extraordinary. I was looking for Eddie Brill on YouTube yesterday. He's a marvelous storyteller. So he's telling stuff about the comics he's met and Robert De Niro and things. But he's but looking for Letterman stuff, it brought up Larry Bud Melman stuff. and Larry Bud Melman, man, Calvert DeForest, who, by the way, I knew, who, by the way, I once had dinner with. That's a big story. I'll tell that another time. I probably told it on here. But who we actually had dinner with Larry Bud Melman back when I was living in New York. In New York City, as a matter of fact, when we had our apartment. So, how did I get... Oh, and they showed an episode I didn't even know existed. From 1982. When they made believe that David Letterman was in his vacation house and Larry Bud was taking over the show. And it was entirely and completely scripted. And Larry Bud Melman did everything from the opening monologue to an interview segment with Jack and Elaine Lalaine to a comedy segment of comedy bits. And then in the middle of the show, they stopped it. They brought David Letterman back. But it was, Larry wasn't as horrible as you think he would be. It was actually staggeringly wonderful. If you get to see it, not right now, keep watching me. But after the show, sometime this weekend, check out the Larry Bud Melman episode of David Letterman, where he is the host of the show, and it's quite magnificent. How do I get on anything here? Well, Eddie Brill going to be talking to the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon on the program in about 15-20 minutes. And then what else do we have? We have our weekly Today, Yesterday trivia quiz, where Eddie will stay and play the game, our wonderful trivia game, alongside a couple of our regular panelists. Our two usual panelists are not going to be with us. Leslie Hoban Blake, she is with family. Thank you so much. In Connecticut. So we hope she has an absolutely marvelous time with her kids. And then David Sheward, as I said, he's taking sort of a hiatus break from the show, probably until December, when he has more time in his life to do stupid things like this show. Thank you. Oh, look at this.
Styling.
Yeah. We call this an ascot, because my ass got some leaves. Anyway, but instead of our beloved Leslie and our beloved David, we have our beloved Vicki Quade will be joining us to play the trivia game, as well as our beloved Moshe Denburg will join us too, along with Eddie Brill. It's going to be a pretty fun and fabulous Today, Yesterday trivia quiz devoted to things that happened today in history, November 5th. And what else? Oh, and we have, yes we did, even though I have no time in my life, I made the time to do a new Colorado Limerick of the damned.
Weren't they banned?
Oh, yes. They should be. They really... And this one isn't horrible and dirty and sexual. It's just kind of sad.
There's people, a family, in all bright fluorescent... Oh, it must be some kind of run. They're doing some kind of...
Oh, okay.
It's a children's run event where they're picking up... No, it's cute. They're all running in different...
Let's pelt them with candy.
No, I think it's a competition because they all have different fluorescent colors.
Oh, and that's the one thing I forgot to mention. Of course, I was going towards with this whole thing. Not about, how much children skeeved me or how I didn't want to give up my candy. But I still had a lot of leftover candy back.
I'm being blinded.
And then the next day,
yeah.
Or I think it was Wednesday, 2 days later, I was coming back from teaching, and I stop off at the supermarket.
Oh, you want your
my local supermarket, because I'm like, hey, Halloween's over.
Yeah, but they're not going to have it at Little. Little's not going to do it. Safeway would have.
So, well, I've got it. There was nothing. A couple of like discounted, costumey wearable things or house decoration. No Halloween. This has stopped in America.
Why are you yelling?
Because I'm angry. Ooh, I've got the mad on.
Tone it down. It's morning.
This is how I'm
But
mad.
how can you be mad with such a lovely ascot of leaves?
I know.
You look so fally. You look like Mr. Fall.
I do. I'll probably fall later and hurt my hip. But
God forbid.
But here, this is the thing, and I have bitched about this year after year, and it's obviously gotten only worse. Of when you were younger, when in my 20s, and Halloween was over, you ran to Duane Reade or the supermarket.
Is that what you did?
I ran. I didn't even put clothing on. I was naked, jumping out of bed. I don't even sleep naked, but I would take off all my clothes that I even wore in bed. so I could run naked to the supermarket and go to the Halloween aisle, where everything was 50 to 70%
Drink
off.
your tea. It's not pleasant, David.
Where everything was discounted. Right? Because I knew that the bag of candy, back then, the bag of candy that was $2.50 is now going to be $1.75 or less. Because if you went the day after Halloween, it was 50%. And if you went 5 days after Halloween, everything was 70%, 80%. You get a bag of, the M&M candy things, individually wrapped, for 99 cents.
Really?
And I get like 5 bags. And it would last me weeks, and I would always kick myself when I got home from the supermarket when I said, why did I just buy 5 bags of this? They're like 20 bags. These don't go stale for years. I can eat these M&Ms, next October. Why did I buy 5 bags? Because there's a little I don't want to take too many from other people. And I wish. Back in 2004, I bought 100, or maybe 50 bags of Three Musketeers bars.
I don't think they
would still have them now.
I don't think they would be good.
That would be, I could freeze them and then unfreeze them. But then you won't have room in the freezer, and then you have the meat. Because I would want to protect my Three Musketeers at the expense of the meat.
You would put them in the freezer?
I guess you could.
Why would you freeze them?
Well, we used to do that with the Charleston chews you were talking about.
Really?
When I was a kid, you put Charleston chews in the freezer, and you broke your teeth basically trying to eat them after.
I see that.
But I don't know why I don't know why.
You know who was behind it?
Who?
Probably dentists.
Yeah. And
they probably got together and promoted that end.
Halloween is a holiday created by the American Dental Association. I absolutely believe that.
Because then they get.
Yeah. Who? Nobody likes candy corn. Who?
I know.
Is there any human in the world who actually enjoys eating candy corn?
Some people do. They think it's yummy.
It's not yummy. It's gross. It's freaking gross. It's like marshmallow peeps on
People
Easter.
like that. I don't.
I know you have a friend who really likes marshmallow. Nobody likes marshmallow peeps. No. However, Hershey bars, good forever. And it's not even good chocolate, but it's still good chocolate, right? Three Musketeers, Twix, Kit Kats. Oh my goodness. M&Ms. Count me in. Count me always in, right? So back in the day, if you just had a little bit of patience, like you had to buy one bag of candy at full price because I would give the little brats coming to your door, or even. And what I used to do also is when Halloween was over, I would go to the store, and then I get a big bag of stuff, and then I go to work, and I give, I'd say, hey, here, have some like day-old stale Halloween candy, because it's like half the price.
Maybe that's why your colleagues miss you at work.
Yeah, damn. Well, actually, I always used to bring in candy and stuff when I was working there 2 years ago, but it's like, and now I go to Lidl. That's the name of the store, Lidl. We have them out here.
I think in German it might be Lidl.
I don't know.
But
I go there, nothing. They have nothing, right? And it was literally less than 48 hours after the holiday was over. The gremlins came in at 12:01 a.m. on November 1st, cleared out everything. And they do this now. And I'm making an example of Lidl, but I've been doing this the past few years at Rite Aid, Dwayne Reed. I'm like, where's the candy? It was here a day ago. It was here. You had a buy one, get one free. That was very nice. But now, where's the 70% off shelf? Where's the shelf of like, either people buy this or it goes in the garbage. We might as well discount it 80%. Where's the human garbage can Dave Lefkowitz who's going to come here and pay a little money and take this off our hands and stock his shelves for the next half a year with stuff that he shouldn't really be eating, but he eats anyway? Where is that man? Where is that discount?
I know.
My friends, I tell you, the world truly is going to hell. It's going to hell in a handbasket. You can't get seriously discounted Halloween candy anymore after Halloween.
That's true.
Sigh. Everyone sigh with me. Could you sigh with? And my name isn't even Sigh.
Maybe what about the people who can't eat candy? Like they don't care.
Right. Well, what did we see yesterday? What were you looking at like a day or two ago? Where it was on Twitter, and there are people who, when kids and parents or whoever come to their house on Halloween, they don't give them.
Oh, they give a potato.
They give a potato. They give uncooked. I think it was a raw potato, right?
I think it was some kind of joke.
It's not a joke to me. You know, you can give me a potato it'd be delicious. You put in the micro, a little butter, a little salt. It's as good as any candy you're going to get. Healthier, you know, starchy, albeit, but it's kind of a vegetable-y fruit thing. Still don't know whether it's a fruit or a vegetable. But okay, you know. And potatoes, you can still buy it. It's about a $1 a pound for potatoes these days. So you can get a 5-pound bag for $5. And in a 5-pound bag, you've got about 12 potatoes. You can give, you know, the lucky, happy, sweet child on your block a potato to eat. Not raw. That would be, you know, I mean, I would say that was gross. But, my friends, what is wrong with the world? Nothing's wrong with this show, by the way. We have coming up Eddie Brill chatting with Rabbi Sol Solomon. We have our today, yesterday trivia quiz with trivia questions. We also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we will be going to Hillside, Colorado, for a poem. As I said, it's not dirty, it's not gross or disgusting. What did I write this one about? I think this one is just basically pathetic. But it's a short poem about a different place in Colorado. And today, that place is going to be Hillside. We'll do that towards the end of the show later on in the program. It's about 5 minutes to 10 a.m. So what else? What else do I want to tell you about? What else happened this week that is worth talking about in the world?
I don't know.
I mean, are you going to stop using Twitter because Elon Musk bought it?
So there are a lot of people. The only reason I like Twitter is because I learn about, it's more professional Twitter. It's not like a personal Twitter.
Well,
I don't care. Nobody cares what I think. It's more like connecting with people professionally, and I like that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
But people are moving to different platforms, and I'm just watching and seeing what the utility is of each of them. I don't know yet. I don't know. I know there's a couple. I know people are talking about doing different stuff, but I don't know enough to make that decision yet. You know, I don't really know.
Fair enough. I mean,
I think it's like early days. Like, who knows, you know?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Elon Musk is firing people right and left, which I understand. It does occur to me that in a manner of speaking, you could probably run Twitter for about $3 million a year and like 10 people. Like one guy who advertises it, one person who kind of looks over the postings, another person who says, there's a coding issue, I better call our server.
Yeah, they use AI, so they probably have a lot of, I'm sure they have screeners who screen it, you know, the algorithms, but...
And Elon Musk to collect the checks. I mean, why does it take...
How many people did they fire?
Oh, I honestly don't know, but I think they're something like $700 million worth of salaries.
Wow.
But why does it cost $700 million to run... Well, I can put up a website, have people post on it.
Or even Google, like, they have a lot of people, they have a lot of jobs.
Where's the money? Where's the thing? Where is that money?
Remember that George Clooney movie? It was the George Clooney movie where he was brought in to fire people.
Up in the air.
Yeah, and he would just go to, like, a different company and say, like, oh, you know...
Well, Elon Musk probably looked at Twitter, and I feel bad for all these people with who are working there and some, 5 years, 10 years now they don't have a job.
He just fired them, didn't give them like a...
Well, probably 2 weeks now. You know what it is. Maybe 3 weeks notice if he's a gentleman.
Do you think they knew when the company was merging that he was going to start...
They had to have fear.
I'm wondering,
When any company gets bought out, stuff happens, right? So he has a right. If he owns it, he can fire right and left and make enemy and do what he's got to do. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, why it costs, why you need 80,000 people. I honestly don't know. I understand why you need that many people to run Amazon, because people have to drive trucks and load things in boxes and ship and pack and this and that and then the website. But the website could be like 2 kids in their basement, and it's like, oh, they bought something. Let me send this over to the warehouse.
I don't know how I don't understand that corporate structure, so I'm not a good,
I hear you.
Not a good, whatchamacall, not a good...
a good barometer of that sort of thing.
Not at all.
Well, the barometer is beautiful. It just got a chilly little breeze here in northern Maryland, but it's a beautiful afternoon, or beautiful late morning here. It's about 2 minutes till 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and we're about to bring in one of our most beloved, most feared people in the whole history of the Daverhood. Yeah, I'm going to go over there in a sec.
Can you go inside and do it?
Okay, cool. I got to play music though. To bring in someone who was with us on our very first episode of the show, literally back in 2002, and he's been with us many times since. He's done rabbinical reflections for us, mini sermons that you can read at his website, shalomdammit.com. You can also hear them, the audio is there. He also did a one-man off-Broadway show called Shalom Dammit, an evening with Rabbi Sal Solomon, which from the title you can probably guess that his name is Rabbi Sal Solomon. He does so many of our interviews now, and in just about a minute or two, he will be chatting with comedian and comedy booker person and warm-up guy extraordinaire, Eddie Brill, who's going to come in and talk to Rabbi Sal and then stay and play the trivia game with me and Moshe and Vicki. So, this is Dave's Gone By. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. It's our 870th episode live on this November 5th, 2022. Let me load up some music for the Rabbi. I'll just put in my klezmer music generator, because, this has AI that does that sort of thing. Oh, here's the Rabbi's theme. Yes! Hey! Oh, shalom! Shalom, my friends! Shalom, my enemies! This is your old pal, Rabbi Sal Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And many people have called me the Larry Bud Melman of the Dave's Gone By show, because that's what I am. That's what I do. I'm sort of the guy who comes on and says the silly, scary, controversial things, and then Dave comes on and tries to make nice. But I don't make nice. I have fun with wonderful guests like the comedian who is staring into his camera as we speak. His name is Eddie Brill. He has been in the comedy game for well on 4 decades now, has appeared everywhere, is playing everywhere, and is, on some level, best known for television work, which was being the warm-up guy, the guy that you came when you first went to the David Letterman show, and were sitting there waiting for Dave and Paul and the band and beloved Larry Bud, and then the first guy that you saw came out, told some jokes, tumbled with the audience, made you feel good and got you ready to be into the show. That man is with us as we speak. His name is Eddie Brill, and shalom to you, Eddie Brill. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm good. I'm glad you're bringing the energy here at 10, helping me to come up to that level. It's fantastic.
You keep a comedian's hours? Did you go to sleep at 3 a.m. last night and then you just...
I didn't go at 3, but I woke up at around like 5:36, and then I just started writing. So, but yeah, like my hours are all over the place. I travel and then different time zones, but I got some sleep in and I got some creativity in, and I made sure I was up early enough to be able to hang out with you in your beautiful Great Neck surroundings. I see you say Great Neck is that.
Actually,
I remember years and years ago working at the Chi-Chi's in Great Neck, And what was interesting about the Chi-Chi's Mexican restaurant in Great Neck is that the audience would get drunker and out of control because they're all drinking tequila. So the key knowledge point for comedians was go on early before they're out of their minds and not paying attention because they're hammered, because there's nothing like tequila to ruin a good comedy show.
Oh my God. Well, or do you want them like where you can just say anything and they'll laugh hysterically?
Nah, you want them because then you're not connecting. It's like if you said, "Hey Eddie, how you doing today?" And I went, "Poker is 55 cents," and you're like, "What poker is 50? Nothing's 55 cents." You know what I mean? It's like you don't want that. You want to connect with the audience, and if they're a little drunk, there are ways to connect, but you prefer to have an audience that's sharp.
What was the line from, I think it was either Manhattan or Annie Hall, where Woody Allen says, it's like you don't want to play to someone stoned. Yeah. They're going to laugh at anything. It doesn't mean anything if they laugh. Right?
Yeah, and the whole point is you've written this material, you've carefully, painstakingly made it really, just made it shine and terrific. And then you have somebody just laughing at a setup because they have no idea what's going on.
Now, I never have any idea what's going on. That's why I'm a rabbi. But let me ask you something here, Eddie Brill. Can you share with us, like you were writing, were you working up an idea for your set, or were you writing something more for like film, or what were you working?
A combination of, I have some I'm writing new material to go with some of the new shows I'm doing, and I'm also at the same time working on all kinds of things, scripts. There's a couple of jobs I have where they need me to write a script, another one where people want me to edit their set. Some, there's many different kinds of things that I love to do, enjoy doing, and people seem to trust me okay with that.
Well, no, it's wonderful that you have that variety. It was like, I don't have any good ideas for my comedy set. Let me work on someone else's thing. Oh, yeah. I have to do this script today. This is for this. That's a wonderful position to be in.
And I love every part of it, even the frustrating parts, because to overcome any challenge, as people know in this life, to be successful at that is actually much more rewarding. Like I will tell you the story about this. I was in New Jersey and I was doing a gig, and there's great parts in New Jersey, but I get to the gig and I notice the crowd is very old. They're like 70s and 80s old, walkers and all this kind of stuff, which is fine. I've done
on the arms. I mean, I get it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, that's a different show. Yeah. But these people are very, very old, but I never have a problem. Age, race, creed. I don't even know what creed is. It's a bad Christian band. But there's all these different incredible, people that I performed in all different parts of the world. So I go up on stage, I'm the only comedian on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Brill. I walk on and I get no laughs for the first 10 minutes. Nothing, a zero. I actually, about 8 minutes in, I pull out a bit that I know is going to kill. Nothing. So I jokingly said to the crowd, "You're probably expecting Marty Brill." Marty Brill's an old-time comic. He's a joke teller. He's a Catskills guy. He wasn't always known for writing his own material. He was a borrower in a sense. He was a guy that, I never met, and I, spreading rumors that I don't know firsthand, but I've heard second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh many times over. So I told the crowd, I said, you probably think I was going to be Marty Brill as a joke. And first I said, I just want you guys to know, I don't think this is going well either. And I got a laugh. Yeah. And then I said, you're probably expecting Marty Brill. And some guy in the front, very Lou Jacoby-like guy, he's like, yeah, we thought it was Marty Brill. So that's why they were freaking out. They're like, who's this young kid? And why is he not telling jokes? So I said, Marty Brill and I are very different. He's a Catskill comic and he tells old jokes. I'm more of the newer generation since, Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor, Carlin era, where we make observations, we tell stories, we do that kind of thing. And, so we're very different. And I said, comedians, we don't really tell jokes. Not in this generation. We don't tell jokes like, guy walks into a bar, that kind of stuff. That's not comedy. That's, that's a bunch of Wall Street guys sitting around bored coming up with jokes. And that is actually true. Wall Street is where those people down there, because I know many people in that profession, they come up with some of the best jokes in the world. If I want to hear a joke, I ask some of my Wall Street buddies.
Let me ask you though. I mean, you've given us the Cheese story. You've given us the you're not Marty Brill. What is the absolute worstest hell gig?
I'll tell you that. Let me just finish this part. We have a little time, I think.
Yeah.
So I tell the crowd, I don't really know any jokes. I said I know 2 jokes, and I told them, and they laughed. And I said, does anyone in the audience know any jokes? And a guy raises his hand, and I come out Phil Donahue style with the mic, and he tells his joke, and he gets a big laugh. And then this woman gets up and she says, I know a joke. And then she tells a joke. And now, instead of dying for 45 minutes and getting through it, we had the time of our lives. So that's the key, is to really, whatever the scenario you are in, you have to make the best of it. Now that leads perfectly into what you asked. What is the worst gig? It's a very famous gig for being the worst gig in America, or probably the world. It's a place called the Charlie Horse, just near where the Pilgrims landed. That kind of area of the country.
So funny with the buckles on the alley. Yeah,
you're right. Those guys. And so I'm taking a date on this gig in Massachusetts, and she was very shy, and I've been wanting to go out with her forever. And she finally said yes. So we get to the Charlie Horse, and I walk in the main door, and it's just like the scene from Blazing Saddles at the end of the movie, where people are just fighting and hitting each over the head with pool cues, and it's a big pool hall. And this friend of mine who's on the trip with me is looking at me like, what did you get me into? And I'm like, I tell the doorman, I says, is this where the comedy show is? And he goes, no, it's in the room next door. And part of this is kind of sad. I went next door, and the room was only the wives and girlfriends of the guys who were beating the hell out of each other in the other room. There was a woman with a cast on her arm in a sling. There was a woman with a baby carriage, and she's drinking a Budweiser with the other thing. And if no one's paying attention, it's sad, really, because they're waiting. They're just waiting. It's funny, but they're waiting for their husbands or boyfriends to finish their beating each other up and then come home and hurt them or something like that.
I'm sorry.
It's not funny, but it's hilarious that the way life goes. And it's an assumption that, but you see broken arms and all these, black eyes. I'm serious.
I remember at that gig, there was this woman with 2 black eyes. It was Dolly Parton. She'd been jogging. But
I understand what you're saying, Right. So anyway, I go up on stage and no one's paying attention. They're just miserable, sad. The friend of mine is sitting in the audience, the only one sort of watching it. And the only other person who was paying attention was the woman with the baby in the stroller and the Budweiser in the other hand. And I said, none of you guys are paying attention. And it's kind of a shame. And I looked at the woman with the stroller and I said, look, it really makes me happy that you're the one person who is paying attention. I don't know what the language on this podcast is, but I'll keep it cleaner. She goes, F you. And she takes her beer and throws it at the stage. I duck it. The glass breaks behind me, and I am soaking wet and glass shards in my coat and hair. And, I just had to get through the time. And it was just brutal. And years later, I found out that was the club that was sort of the, fraternity, sorority. You had to pledge as a comic in the Boston area, but you had to do the Charlie Horse and get through that. And now you're in the team of all the comedians who suffered.
You got comedians, they're all doing sets, they're all coming up together. Don't they tell each other, no matter what your agent says, no matter where you're booked, don't do the Charlie Horse. Go to Charlie's next door, do a set there. Don't go to Charlie Horse. And yet,
but at that time, I didn't really know a lot of. I knew a few of the comics, and they didn't know I was doing the Charlie Horse. I didn't know because I thought it was just another gig. And when I came home, that you did the Charlie Horse, and it's aptly named, obviously. And it was horrific, but I survived.
The spleen fracture. That was
right. Very sad, actually. It was a very long, quiet 40-minute ride back to downtown Boston.
And by the way, did she get any? I mean, I know you were on a date.
She was so nervous that, it was like, this is your life. I'm again making assumptions on what she's thinking, and we never hung out again. It was a very long, quiet ride back to town.
So sorry about that. But we are not sorry to have Eddie Brill with us in the Daverhood. Now, before I forget, because I'm shame on me, I forgot to take my quill and parchment and write this down. But you are appearing like in an off-Broadway situation thing or something. Tell us, but you just tell us.
All right. I live in the East Village of Manhattan. I've been here since college.
Yeah.
There's incredible venues all over this neighborhood, and one of them is called Pangea. And it's run by this gentleman, Stephen, who's, we have so many mutual friends over the years. And I went to do a benefit for the Ukraine people, and they had it at this Pangea, 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 and it's on 2nd Avenue, like 11th Street. So I go to do this show, and the venue is spectacular. It's intimate, seats about 50 people, 60 people. The ceilings are nice and low. The audience was incredible. And I talked to Stephen, the owner, and I said, I'd love to do shows here. And he said, that would be great. Well, the New York Comedy Festival is coming. It's starting this week. So my son and I who's a stand-up comic as well, we put a show together, and a friend of ours named Anna, a friend of his more, Anna Bianco, is going to host. So it's the three of us, 7 o'clock on next Saturday, the 12th.
Next Saturday, the 12th. At Pangea. Forgive me for not writing this down, but I have this down now.
I'm okay. I'm totally good. I didn't plan anything either.
Eddie Brill and his wonderful son, who's, by the way, Marty Brill. No, I'm kidding.
Right. Yeah, Marty.
What is your son's name?
Dan Madonia, and that's a whole other story. I didn't know I had a son until he was just before his 12th birthday.
For reals?
For reals. And now he's 35, and we've been very, very close. And it's such an incredible story. It's too long for one podcast, but it's really a great story. And him and I are like best friends, and we love each other like crazy, and we have such a good life, and we're so similar in so many ways. It's almost like, well, it's not almost like DNA doesn't lie. We never knew each other for 12 years. And I went on this is how long ago I went on his, I forget what's up, or what was the name of before Facebook. There was
WhatsApp or MySpace probably.
MySpace. So I go on his MySpace. He loves hockey like I do. He loves the Beatles. He loves Elvis Costello. We really liked everything together, and I didn't grow up with him.
And he became a comedian of all things.
He became a comedian. He's a talented musician and actor. He's working on a film right now. He's doing a whole bunch of incredible things. And next weekend, we're working together in the city, doing this incredible gig.
Now, everybody can go to Pangea next Saturday, or I should say next Shabbos, and see you guys working together. But how would you describe the differences in your comic style? Or is even there the DNA, like he's a lot like you and vice versa?
Yeah, different, but very similar. And we're very, I would say smart and silly is a great way to describe the kind of comedy, very George Carlin influenced.
Yes.
Material, and so we're very similar, but we have our, comics go up on stage and tell their truths. So there are stuff about his truth that are different than mine, and it's different perspectives. So, but we've worked together a lot now over the years, and we just have the time of our lives. In fact, we just got offered a gig to go to Fiji together, to do this incredible gig and maybe do a comedy festival in that part of the world.
Oh my God! Could you bring me back some Fiji water?
I would easily do that, but I can just go down to the market here and get you some. But it's much better from them.
There's microbes in the real stuff that are so tasty. I cannot begin to tell you.
But they're microbes, so they're little and they're tiny. I'm going to bring the major crobes.
Oh yeah, you feel them wiggling when you drink them.
Oh my God, it's so good.
We're talking with Eddie Brill. Can you name 3 comedians from like the because you started like the late 70s and really...
In college, I was in a comedy group with Dennis Leary and Stephen Wright and Mario Cantone, and we were all together in this comedy group. And a lot of incredible people went to Emerson College in Boston. Henry Winkler, Norman Lear, Bill Dana, Andrea Martin. And then after us, it was David Cross and Bill Burr. And I mean, it's just Lauren Dombrowski, and it's all these amazing comedians that come from that Emerson, scenarios.
It's like Paris in the 1880s. Like,
yeah.
But so can you name, these are people that we all know. Were there a couple of comedians who everybody thought, oh, they're going to be so huge. And they were so great, but they didn't get They didn't become Dennis Leary. They didn't become, these other folks, Andrew Martin, let's say.
Right.
Who would be like people who, how come that never happened for them?
Well, the thing is we'd have to make assumptions to wonder why that didn't happen. It might have been timing. It could have been family obligations. I know people who had to quit because they, had hardships. But in reality, what's success? Is success the most money? Is success the most? Yeah,
yes, damn it! Of course, it's the most money.
Not for me. Not for me. I grew up actually very, very poor with my family, and we had so much love and laughter that everyone in my family is very funny. My mother was the funniest person. We had comedy albums in the house. It was always fun and always funny, and you didn't really need money to laugh. You just
I do.
So when I make money in the scenario, that's a bonus, but it's not about that. So like if a comedian is famous, does that mean they're successful? No, there's a lot of very mediocre comedians that are famous. And, they're incredible comedians that no one's ever heard of, but comedians know who they are.
So who's your comedian at the moment? Like who's the person you go like, oh, they're hysterical and the world should know it and doesn't really?
Well, there's a guy, I've answered this question a lot, and so have many comedians, and we all sort of point to the same guy, this guy who's very funny, one of the funniest people we've ever known, and is successful. So it's not like he's not successful, but it's a guy named Kenny Rogerson. And every comedian who watches this and knows Kenny, he's so prolific, and he's still at it, and he's still hilarious. And he did Letterman back in the day, and he's done all these TV shows, and every comedian looks up to him as one of the greatest comedians in the world. And Kenny Rogerson, and
maybe it's just everybody. Maybe he has your problem. He gets booked in things, and you get like 60-year-old people with country western outfits. Wait, he's not Kenny Rogers. He didn't have skin surgery. What the hell?
Right, exactly. Right. He's no chicken, but he's actually. I wish I was as funny as he was. He's so great. But I'm not the only person to say this.
Yeah, sorry. You what?
I'm saying I'm not the only comedian who's ever said that. You see Kenny perform, you're in awe because it doesn't mean he's not successful. To me, he's one of the most successful.
He has a career.
What he loves.
Yeah.
He does what he loves. He gets up every day knowing he's going to do what he loves for a living.
Did you love doing the Letterman warm-up? Was that?
Yeah. It was amazing. Ed Sullivan Theater with the Beatles and the Supremes and all these people on the stage. I love working theaters. I've been doing it for a million years. I had done warm-up for other shows. I did the Dana Carvey show warm-up before Letterman. One of the producers over there, when the Dana Carvey show was not, no longer happening, they were writing over at the Letterman show. And when Letterman was looking for a warm-up, they had me there. So I was there. I started in February of 97. In March of 2001, I started booking the comedians who performed on the show. So I did that for a bunch of.
Let me ask, to be in that position and be a comedian, did suddenly could you tell who your friends are? Was there suddenly this thing like Eddie?
Yeah, it's very easy because I'm a comedian who, I understood what they were going through, wanting to get on the show, and I gave every one of them the respect they deserved. Whether they were right for the, there's thousands of comedians, and not just in the United States, around the world. I book comedians from Ireland and England and Australia on the show. So say I'm making this number, 4,000 comedians, and you get 15 spots a year to put comedians on. So I have to say no 99.9% of the time. And there are definitely people who didn't like me because I didn't book them or they took it personally. But you have to learn. It's one of the hardest lessons to learn. You can only do the best you possibly can. And I was always respectful to them.
Even once a week, I would figure at least once a week that I had a comedian, but literally 15, 20 times a year, that was the slot you had to fill?
That was the sort of average. I remember one year, the most we had was 37 comics. And the reason why Letterman was sick, I think that was when he had shingles. And so they had a guest.
I told him to get aluminum siding. But
he didn't know. He would have gone to Rodney Dangerfield who sold aluminum siding before he was a comic. But anyway, I guess when Letterman was out, we had a comedian pretty much every day of the week to fill the show out. And so there was a year we had 37, but I averaged 12 to 15 a year, like one a month or, every once in a while, last minute. You know.
Can I ask you also, and we're talking with Eddie Brill, by the way, of is political correctness and wokeism sort of hurting comedy or helping it, or a little bit of both? Like you
The
can't
thing that
talk about
hurts,
this
the
or
thing that hurts the most, and it's been going on forever, is sort of judgmentalism, of, we people evolve,
I
hopefully.
don't, but other people.
Yeah, all right. But people evolve. So we need to celebrate people evolving. I'll give you an example. Kevin Hart, one of the greatest guys in the world, hilarious, talented, funny, good heart, Kevin Hart. He goes out and does, some homophobic material that he apologized for later. And look, it wasn't great jokes. But everybody does. I had jokes where, I'm not so proud. I mean, every comedian does. You're trying out. It's not an easy job. If it was, everyone would do it because it's so spectacular. So Kevin Hart apologized for doing that material. He evolved. So instead of celebrating him evolving, people are going into his past and going, well, look how 10 years ago he said this. And that's the thing that hurts the most in the world, is people not celebrating. People are more worried about the sins, than they are for the beauty of an evolving society.
Wow, I love it. And also, let's be fair. I mean, you, back in the day before all this was going on, you took some shit for saying some very legitimate things to the New York Times, right?
But that
And
wasn't
cost
legitimate because it was
big.
taken out of context. This was very irresponsible reporter came by, and I chatted to him, and he brought the thing toward about women, and I gave him a specific example how there were some comics that I recently had seen that appeared to be not authentic, and it wasn't just men. It wasn't just women. It's the same advice I'd give to women that I'd give to men. It's not about men or women. It's about comics going on stage and being their most authentic selves. And when you're not being your most authentic self, that's where that's the suffering. So I brought that up, and so he interviewed a bunch of people who said, look, he didn't put me on the show. Well, I didn't put on 3,800 comedians,
Right.
It was one comedian who he kept in the article. It said Eddie only books men. He only books white men of over 50 years old. And the guy who was writing the article asked me for the list of the comics, and there was one person that fit that, category, Jake Johansson, who was older and brilliant and was on the show 50 times because he's a brilliant comedian.
Yeah, I remember.
Right. But he didn't, but he still put that, and if you look at the list, there's African Americans, and there was a Bangladeshi comedian.
He wasn't funny.
They're
not funny in Bangladesh. There's nothing.
You have to be funny in Bangladesh. I actually worked in Bangladesh.
Did you really?
I did. It was incredible because I write comedy for human beings and not so much for countries. And, when I went to Bangladesh, I didn't know how it would go, but it was spectacular because I was the most authentic me. I told my truths, and they respected it, which is really important. So instead of saying, had all these different people from different walks of life, I even had a female comic who was making her network television debut, and she was a bit older than most of the comics on the shows. And that's one of the biggest sins in comedy, is that in comedy, the older you get, the better you get. There's no, Phyllis Diller, Don Rickles, they were
Joan
really
Rivers
funny.
was,
Joan Rivers was, not only was she brilliant, but she and I were interviewed for an article for the Jewish newspaper where we talked about how it's a shame there's not more women in comics and all this kind of stuff. And Joan Rivers helped me with my very first Letterman appearance as a comic on the show. So she, I was in Milwaukee and I was flying back to New York after my gig. She was at the airport because she did the big theater in town. And I went up to her and I said, I'm on the flight, and, we met once before. And I said, I'm doing the Letterman show for the very first time in a week and a half. And so the flight's taking off. She comes over and switches seats with the lady that's sitting next to me. And she has me go over my set, and she gives me notes and all this kind of stuff. So I've been very generous to all humans as far as comedy, but you can't please everybody. And unfortunately, this irresponsible reporter made it look and all the comics that I've dealt with knew that was a BS
Well,
thing. So.
please tell before we have you on to play the game with Dave and with these other people. I want to so many more things I want to ask you. In fact, I want
Let's talk about that stuff instead of the negativity.
Well, let's have. But I want to hear wonderful stories about comedians who maybe comedians who are no longer with us. You have this lovely thing about Louis Anderson on your website. What are some legendary comedians that you have stories about?
Well, Carlin was my hero, and then I became friends with the family, and I'm friends with the family. Carlin hired me to, for his girlfriend to be a comedy teacher. And I said, but you're George Carlin. He goes, well, she's not going to listen to me. So, but I heard you're a great teacher, and you can't teach people to be funny, but you can workshop it. And I was doing that.
Wait, actually, what can you teach? Because either people have it or they don't.
That's exactly right. They either have it or they don't. But you can talk about what Joan had taught me was the nonverbal part of it, how more important it is to use nonverbal cues. Like Jack Benny got his biggest laughs on pauses is the ultimate example of using nonverbal communication. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of ways to manipulate the rhythm in the room to make it work for you and the audience. There's a lot of little things that you can only learn from doing it, getting on stage. The only real thing you can tell comedians to do, somebody once told, there's a guy named Jack Gallagher, who's a comic from Boston, lives in Sacramento now, genius, funny, talented man. And they said, can you give me 3 pieces of advice to be a better comedian? He said, stage time, stage time, stage time. And that's really the only teacher. But you can workshop it. What I do is we give each other feedback. We're very honest. We can learn how other people perceive us, which makes it great because it's very hard to see how we're perceived ourselves. And we can take the advice from these other people or just let it rattle around your brain and go, no, I like what I'm doing. So that's, you can't teach stand-up comedy.
Wow.
Yeah. So Don Rickles and I became pals, and which was the thrill of my father's lifetime because his hero was Don Rickles, and Don Rickles said, I love Eddie Brill on the Letterman show to Dave on the air, and made my father cry, happy tears. So it's been an amazing life, and it's still going on.
Lullaby. As a matter of fact, it's going on specifically next Saturday, 7:00 in the evening. And remember, you don't want to be there the wrong hour because you got to turn tonight. Make sure it's next Saturday.
Right.
Savings, whatever the hell that is. 7 p.m. at Pangea, Pangea. GEA. It's on 2nd Avenue, somewhere like 11th Street.
Between 11th and 12th.
So you can actually see the street signs and see the numbers. You go downtown, I don't know where the fuck you are because everything. What Great Jones Street? What's so great about it? No.
Yeah. Well, Jones was great, but the street not so great.
Not so. But we have the great Eddie Brill with us. Eddie, unfortunately, I have to go. My congregation's been waiting for me for a half hour.
Oh my God. Are they congregating?
They are. And they're sublimating. They're doing all sorts of.
Oh, there's a lot of hatings. But no hating, loving.
Loving. Yeah, not my congregation. But okay. But Dave, who is the producer of this program, the host of this program, he's waiting in the wings. So I want to let the birds let him go. And he will be right here in about less than a minute to take over the program.
So you're leaving me, and I have to tell these stories again to somebody else?
Oh, either you can tell a story or I can play my outro sort of ish Jew music.
I'm kidding. Whatever it is, I'm okay.
Well, but are you among the tribe, Eddie Brill?
In a sense, yeah. I mean, I grew up going to, my family has a combination of Ashkenazis and Sephardim in there. It was a combination. My grandfather was born in Cairo, and there was a lot of that part of my family. And then there's the family in Poland and all that. And, I grew up with, some organized religion. And like Carlin, I questioned everything. And I kind of like to live in a world where we never consider the word sin to be a real word. Because there's this, the Latin for sine is mistake. So you can make a mistake, but I would never drown myself in a sin because that's created by man, and I'm not in a world where I'm going to listen to every man or woman on their opinion. I'll listen to it and I'll see if it fits what I do, I have a lot of questions, but instead of really worrying so much about the answers that most people cannot answer, I just live my life in a very loving, lovely way, and it seems to work for me.
Yeah, wow, you've made me feel so good, because all these people that I've raped and murdered and robbed, it was a mistake. Just no,
Yeah.
it's a little,
It's a mistake.
a boo-boo,
Right.
an oopsie, and I'm not Catholic, so I can't confess it. So I'm just confessing
Right.
it to you. Oops.
Right.
Mr.
Yeah,
Denburg.
but I'm talking about that because that's not a sin, that's a crime against nature, and that's a different thing, as
You're right.
opposed-
That is worse. I got to rethink my priorities, actually.
Right.
But my priority right now is to bring. I
Yeah.
know, Dave. I know you're waiting. All right, hold on. Just hold on. I'm gonna play a little music. Wait, or you want to tell a story, or I play a little music? Do too.
Play a little music.
I'm gonna play a little spiel, a
little
little
rock.
music for the wonderful Eddie Brill. This is Rabbi Sal Solomon. Please come to Temple Sons of Bitches for your religious needs. Please go to Pangea next Saturday for your Shabbos comedy needs. And please listen to this music as we wait for Dave.
Take care now, Rabbi.
Thank you so much. Why isn't it playing this? Why the hell? Oh, there it is. Oh my God! Hey, my ears!
Nice fade out, Dave. That was very nice.
Oh, we have the tech down here.
It's great because it doesn't happen often. You'll be like, so anyway, and people just shut it off because they're nervous and they're touching buttons and all this other stuff.
I know I'm nervous when I touch my button, but ladies and gentlemen, pushing our buttons is Eddie Brill, who's been an absolutely. I knew when I had you on only for a half hour with Rabbi Sal. I knew we would want an hour and a half. But you can tell a couple more stories as we bring our guests and our friends into the
friends.
My wife is looking at me with a very strange expression on her face. What? Oh, she just finished exercising. She gets exercise listening to me do this show. But ladies and gentlemen, we also have Moshe. We need to unmute your. Oh, you are. No, you need to unmute. Hold on. There you go.
Did you say exercise or exorcise?
Both. We had the rabbi in here.
He was doing some wordplay there. I appreciated it. Yeah.
And would you believe,
Nice
Eddie
to see
Brill, we have a nun, kind of, in the room.
Kind of.
Her name is Vicki Quade. She is the co-creator of the long-running comedy show called Late Night Catechism, which has been...
Oh, yes. Of course.
Yes, of course. See?
Now, Eddie, you better be careful when you get up to heaven and you try to get that sin explanation.
Yeah. If there's a place to go to, we'll all find out eventually, but we don't know.
We'll be waving at you, Eddie. We'll be waving at you.
I appreciate it.
Harley horse, and
But the descriptions of heaven and hell to me seem like they're weird choices that, because most people do things that are not perfect. And, and I understand that, growing up as a child, going to religious school for a little bit, I had thought, wow, this doesn't sound as exciting as the other place. Then the other place has cool stuff and very human values, as opposed to people who are trying to be perfect to go to this place that they don't really know exists.
I'm sorry, Moshe, what did you... That's Moshe Denburg, by the way. He's
Hello, Eddie. Nice to meet you. There's
same.
a great joke about heaven and hell, which is basically that this tzaddik, a tzaddik means a righteous person, right?
Right.
He was great tzaddik. He was 40 years old, and the angels up on high, they said, you know what, he's such a tzaddik, we should show him around here already, So they bring him up to heaven. So it's beautiful flowing waters and people being peaceful and singing songs. And then he says, and then they say, you want to see the other side, hell. So you go into hell and they're having a raucous time and people are shaking their booty and playing rock and roll. And, it's such a crazy time. So anyway, so he says, so thank you very much. He goes back down to earth. He lives another 40 years. And then he passes away at 80 and he comes up to the pearly gates. So they said, well, you know the drill. You were at tzaddik at 40, you're at tzaddik at 80. It's your choice. Where do you want to go? He says, you know what? Heaven is kind of nice, but hell is more interesting, So
Yeah.
so they send him to hell, and he goes in there and they start to tear his hair out, and they're beating him, and he says, "What's going on here? 40 years ago it was such a nice place." He says, "Aha, but then you were just a tourist."
Ah, very nice. Very nice. But like,
New York.
and everyone says up to heaven. Well, the world, earth is on an axis. So sometimes, hell would be down. But also where is hell? Is it the middle of the earth? Of course not.
No, it's New Jersey.
Right.
We know this.
Yeah.
There you go. Across
everyone's cutting New Jersey down except me today. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with the beauty and the love that I think, to me, love is everything. And, I had an incredible family. We had no money. We had just each other, a lot of laughter, a lot of love. And to me, that's heaven. That's heaven.
Yeah,
there's,
sure.
there's heavenly things in there. But, to say that it's up or down, I can't buy any of that. I would, it could be, but instead I focus on the here and now and live life in the most beautiful possible way in the here and now. And then if something else happens, I'll shift.
Amen to that, Eddie. Amen to that.
Yeah, heaven for me is a good prime rib. If you give me a good prime rib, a nice side, and a pecan pie maybe with whipped cream. Oh,
I'm not a fan of pecan, but I'm the only person who doesn't like pecan, and I love pie.
Oh my God, Eddie, let me tell you something. Nothing stains your underpants like pecan.
I think I'm on the wrong podcast.
That was good. Is that
Thank
your
you.
Dave? Is that your own?
That is my own. Except now Eddie Brill's heard it, and but you can't steal that when you're on stage.
Never will do. That's hell. That's and what's funny about how they say there's a special place in hell for people who do that. Like, I didn't know there were different. I guess Dante made all these different places for hell, but it was a special place. What's like hell is pretty horrible, but there's a special place. Like if you ran over your grandmother by accident, you're going to hell because you didn't look in the rear view.
Well, it was an accident.
Right. But if you ran over her on purpose, there's a special place in hell for you. There's no beverages. You're going to just be in the cauldron that everyone thinks exists. And I don't want the special place in hell.
Well, we have
that special place in hell means if you ran over your grandmother for real, that hell is that it's like a bridge party with all old people. Your grandmother's there, and they're confused, and this is your hell.
Right.
You're trying to teach them how to play.
No, they want you to program their VCR.
You're right. Oh my God! It's
over and over and over again.
Vicky, it sounds like you're speaking from experience.
that was Joyce room right there.
But a lot of what we do in the world is man-made and is created in a way that man needs some comfort. We're scared. I don't want to die. I'm getting older and older. I'm not looking forward to dying. I have a grandchild that's just turned 1, and I want to live for a very long time. So who wants to die? But just you never know. So instead, I appreciate this conversations that are intelligent about what's going to happen later or not. For me, like I remember going to in Brooklyn, where I'm from. I went to a church because I was very close. I lived in Bensonhurst, and I wanted to see what the Roman Catholic Church was like. Yeah. And it was very interesting. And there was a priest who I eventually got to know, who was a really terrific person. But I remember him saying that, sex was the devil's work, which to me is a sin. If you're going to put sin, to tell children that and to mess up. So many people are messed up and insecure because of the guilt and the fear that's created by man. So I didn't ever want to be part of that. And you think about it, I think God created sex, because what do we yell when we're having sex? Oh, God, because, we're thanking the manufacturer. But the devil has good stuff. You ever have deviled eggs? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
deviled dogs.
Devil's fruitcake.
Right. Yeah. The hot sauce with his picture on the bottle. I mean, he has good product.
Let's face it. Hell was God's mistake.
That's an interesting. By the way, it's no mistake that we have wonderful people here in the Daverhood, which include Eddie Brill and Vicki Quade and Moshe Denburg. But we do have a game to play, a trivia game.
Not a trivial.
It's extremely
Dave, can I just digress just for a single second?
Yes,
I
please.
don't know what Eddie does. I know Vicki
Oh.
has her resume, and we spoke about it. But what Eddie? What is your claim?
I would say the number one part of my life has been a stand-up comedian.
Good.
Yeah, I've been doing that but I've been in improv, and I've written. I worked for the David Letterman show for 17 years.
Wonderful.
I warm up audiences. I write scripts. Anything creative I do. I sing. I play instruments. I just try to celebrate each day.
Excellent.
And of course, Moshe is a musician. He said, "What's the name of your band? Tell everyone the name of your band."
My band's name is Simus.
Ah,
Was it?
And who was the leader? Sim.
Yeah,
Sim was the leader.
Everybody remember Cy Sims? Yeah, no.
Yes.
Look
Sim,
at that.
there you go. It's a very Long Island way to pronounce the name Tim. Sim.
Tim.
Sim. This is my friend Sim and Sony and Sarisa and Sim. Sim was there.
All right.
Anyways, let's go on with it.
Let's go
Okay.
on. We've got the sweeping done here around. Trish has been sweeping around. Yes, we've been speaking. No idea
You
why.
really are being exercised, aren't you?
Right.
All right, but here we go. This is
I'm trying to increase my physical activity.
Joyce is increasing her physical act. I'll give you some physical activity later, baby.
Are you out on the
Little
porch
playground.
there, Dave?
Well, I'm sorry, what?
Out on the porch, eh?
This is our back porch. It actually overlooks our garden. I'll give you a
Nice.
gander in Maryland. And it's actually Great Neck. Rabbi Sal says
Pretty.
I'm staying
Lovely.
there.
What a
Pretty.
lovely day.
Yeah,
I mean, how about a
lovely.
hummingbird
Gorgeous.
feeder?
Yeah.
What a
Yeah, it's
lovely
been really
day.
nice the last few days up here in New York City. It's amazing.
Here we're finally getting rain in Vancouver. I'm in Vancouver.
I love Vancouver.
Well,
One of the
thank you.
greatest cities on the planet.
Oh,
And
thank-
and great for comedy, great for arts and entertainment. It's just a very open-minded city, and the beauty, like if you drive up to
Yeah,
Worcester
no, it's incredible.
Road
That.
and you see the mountains coming out of the water and the reflection, there's talk about godly.
It's a special place. It's a
Yeah.
special place that way. Yeah.
But expensive.
Yeah.
As expensive as any city in North America. That's for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
Victoria worse
real-
because it's
Well,
across
real
the...
estate is sky high. Rents and stuff like that. I mean, perhaps the United States still, places like certain parts of San Francisco or New York,
Right.
that's really at stratospheric. But
Mhm.
here is very, very tough to buy a home.
I guess when there's a big beauty to it, people are clamoring for it, and they can charge more money for it.
And it's kind of
Yes,
like when
that's
you get on stage with your son. Two gorgeous hunky specimens right there. Coming up next Saturday at Pangea, November 11th. Oh, no, sorry, November 12th. Excuse me, at Pangea.
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Hunky specimens.
Anyway, let's get to now. Let me explain to Eddie because you haven't played the game before.
Ooh,
So
A
here's
newbie.
the deal. I'm sorry, Ricky.
a
What?
newbie.
A
He's a
newbie.
newbie.
A newbie, or he's going to win because
Of
newbie.
course he is. Of course. We know how that works.
Beginner's
Yeah,
luck.
you're
maybe.
just using reverse psychology on me. I get it. I know.
All right, here's how it works. It's a trivia game. We have 6 questions and a tiebreaker. Simple enough. Each question is worth 2 points to the person who gets it. But if the person doesn't get it, another person has a chance to steal the question and get those 2 points. It really is as simple as that, except the questions are ridiculous and stupid.
Very family feudish.
Kind of, well, you're not
Rules.
consulting with each other, but you can talk
Right.
about
Accent on family, Eddie.
Right. I'm a big family person. Family.
So here's the deal, though. Eddie, since you are our newbie, could you kindly pick a number between 1 and 6 and tell me what it is?
Okay. 3.
Eddie with a 3. Moshe, with all you're kind of the second newishest.
Okay, I'll take 4.
Okay, with Moshe with a 4. Vicky.
I'm taking 6
Oh, you're getting Leslie 6.
because I never get a chance to take 6. So I'm taking 6 for
I was
Leslie.
going to go with 8, but you didn't have that many numbers.
I'm going to roll what Eddie doesn't know that I'm doing is we have a die roller app thing on here. So I just rolled a number 4, which means that Moshe, you get to choose. Do you want to be first, second, or third?
I'm going to go 3rd.
Oh, Moshe.
You guys have this all worked out. You know the numbers and.
No, the
okay.
reason I wanted to go 3rd because I like the possibility of stealing. There's an advantage, Eddie,
Yes.
because already you eliminate because it's a multiple choice. So stealing is actually a little bit of an advantage.
And it's no longer a sin. I learned that. It's not an act of a crime
Not
against
in this game.
Well, crime is different than sin. I mean, it's a sin. But anyway.
Okay, I'm going third.
Okay.
Moshe is going third. Now, Eddie, I just rolled a 3, which is your number, which means would you like to go first or second?
I'll go second so I can hear the first answer.
All right, I'm going first.
All right, Vicki
Okay.
Quade. Vicki Quade, you get the first question. And remember, a lot of these questions, not all, but most of them have to do with things that happened in history on this date, November 5th. Got it?
Yep.
So,
Yes.
let us begin our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz on Dave's Gone By. The year, Vicki, was 1556. At the Second Battle of Panipat, Akbar's army reclaims Delhi. Speaking of delis, which of these iconic delicatessens is still open?
Oh, okay.
A, the Stage Deli on 7th Avenue. B, Greenblatt's Deli in West Hollywood. C, Langer's Deli in Westlake, Los Angeles. Or D, Jerry's Restaurant and Deli on Ventura Boulevard.
Ooh.
They're all the LA area, aren't they?
No, one's in New York, and I think 3
One's
are
in
in
New York, 7th
California.
Avenue.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So it depends on how valuable the real estate is in those neighborhoods. So would you give them to me again?
Absolutely, I will. Which of these iconic delicatessens
No, it's okay. I mean, I just need to know their names.
is open? Okay. A, the Stage Deli on 7th Avenue in New York. B, Greenblatt's Deli in West Hollywood, California. C, Langer's Deli in Westlake, Los Angeles. Or D, Jerry's Restaurant and Deli on Ventura Boulevard in California.
Oh, man. I mean, I don't know the answer to this, but I'm guessing it is the one in West Hollywood.
You're saying Greenblatt's Deli in West Hollywood is the one.
I'm saying it. It's probably wrong, but I'm saying it.
I
felt that way
I
too.
don't know. I don't know any of those.
Yeah, is that your final answer?
Sure, why not?
Well, I'm afraid your Greenblatt fell Greenflat. That is not the correct answer, Vicki Quade. So we have a steal opportunity. We just started, so there's no score. I'm going to roll the die, and it came up a number 5, which is nobody. So I'm going to roll it again. Hello. Going to roll, and it came up a 6, which is Vicki. But that doesn't help us. And it came up a 3.
I can steal.
This takes the most time of the game.
Yeah, I could see.
But Eddie, I just rolled a 3.
Okay.
So
I know Greenblatt's is closed because I've been there many times. I met Graham Nash there, which was one of the thrills of my life.
Wow.
That's why I love Greenblatt's was next door to the Laugh Factory, the comedy club in Los Angeles. The stage closed down. I performed there at the stage, and I've done skits at the stage, and it's gone. I never been to Langer's. I know about Jerry's, which I've never been to. So since I know Jerry's, and I don't know if it closed, I'm going to go with Langer's.
Is that your final answer?
It is.
Well, Eddie, don't be angry at me.
Okay, I'm never.
I'm giving you 2 points because you just got that answer right. You're on the
board.
Mazel tov. Very nice.
Grazie. Yes.
Well done. So, Eddie, on the board with the first 2 points of the Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. It is, in fact, Langer's is still with us. And I was going to put the Carnegie in there, but that kind of reopened in Madison Square Garden. So it went away, but it came back.
But it's not the place. Like Second Avenue Deli is reopened, but it's on 33rd Street. You know, it's not Second Avenue.
And you know, I could tell that you have this idea that Chicago doesn't have delis, but we have Manny's, which is one of the best.
Oh, I love Manny's. I've been Chicago's one of the greatest.
Montreal, where I come from, has Schwartz's.
There you go.
Oh, it's incredible.
That's where
and
Mordecai Richler went. It's where Leonard Cohen went. We all went there. Schwartz's.
Really?
There's a vegan deli in Chicago that is amazing.
Vegan deli. That's an oxymoron.
I went to.
That's an oxymoron.
But anyway,
where, do you know it? Which is the vegan deli what's it called?
Well, I'm just thinking, did you go to Chicago Diner? But I don't think so.
But that's one of the places I went to. I love Chicago. The food in Chicago is spectacular.
Yeah.
That's where you're from.
Not as beautiful as Vancouver is comparatively.
Well, Vicki's from Chicago, and Eddie's a New Yorker, born in Brooklyn strong, and we have a Canadian, so it's a real kind of interesting.
My mother was born in Brooklyn. I mean, grew up in Flatbush, actually. So I have a big New York connection. But I think Dave wants us to go on with the quiz.
It's fun. I mean, learning all this stuff is fun. When I went to Indianapolis
Yeah.
Dave Letterman had a favorite deli, and I can't remember the name of it. It sounded like it was Langer's or something like that. And it was one of the best delis I'd ever been to in Indianapolis.
Wow, Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I do want to get on with the quiz. We do have another question here. And this question, though, is going to go directly now to Eddie, because you're second. It goes Vicki
Oh,
and
I see. I got
Moshe.
you.
And now, so you already have 2 points. If you get this right, you're going to have a commanding lead. And you know how delightful that can be. So,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe you were there every day when David Letterman was making that, and you know how painful that can be. So
Yeah.
I can actually do that in front of you. It's amazing. The year, Eddie, was 1605. So on this date, November 5th, 1605, score one for King James I, because it was a bad day for his enemy, Guy Fawkes.
Oh no.
Right.
Fawkes, who was planning to blow up the House of Lords,
Yes.
was caught guarding a whole stock of gunpowder. He was later tortured and died from a broken neck while hanging. Which of these was false about Guy Fawkes? A. When asked by his torturers who his conspirators were, Fawkes said, quote, "the king himself for his sins." B. For a while he called himself Guido Fawkes. C. Shakespeare's Macbeth was partially based on the gunpowder plot. Or D. Because of the gunpowder plot, to this day, before the king arrives at Parliament, royal bodyguards do a ceremonial search of the cellar for explosives.
Hmm.
One of these is false about Guy Fawkes.
Right. Well, I think the thing about Guido is too hilarious and probably purposely put in there because it sounds ridiculous. But I'm going to go with Guido because, I never think of Guy Fawkes as Guido, even though there's a GU at the beginning of Guy to be Guido. But I'm going to go with the Guido. I'm comfortable enough with my 2 points.
That's one that's false. Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
Eddie, I've got to tell you, I can't do the Guy Fawkes. Can you? Joyce said I can't do it. I said, Guido was what he called himself when he was in Spain.
Gotcha.
It actually was true. He took Guido Fawkes as his name, his Italianate version of Guy Fawkes, and when he was fighting in Spain. So I'm afraid you
Very cool.
will not get 2 points.
I'm okay. I'm comfortable.
So,
Having fun.
so let's not make our 2 other contestants uncomfortable. Let's roll a die and see who can go. So I got, nope, no, nobody that. 2, 1, 3 again. Now, Eddie, you're 3. Ah, my goodness. 1, 6. Vicki.
Thank you. Now the chance is still.
Here we go.
Okay, so it's the ceremony. They checked the basement. He said the king
Was his co-conspirator.
co-conspirator. And what's the third one?
Shakespeare's Macbeth was partially based on the gunpowder plot.
Oh.
You shouldn't have put something about T.S. Eliot in there, David.
I don't want to turn this show into a wasteland.
Oh. I'm going to say it's the Shakespeare one, the Scottish play.
The Macbeth. Is
You're an actress who can't say that.
I don't even say it in my own home.
And mouth the words to it. She won't even.
So you're saying the M word is false, that Shakespeare, it is not true that Shakespeare's Macbeth was based on the gunpowder plot. Final answer?
Sure, why not?
Well, I'm afraid that went off in your face and did not. Oh,
was hoisted by her own petard.
Well, we're mentally petarded on this show. So you have.
Portia, now, see? Your strategy is
So
gonna work.
you see, this is what I was talking about. Now I have a chance, a 50-50 chance of getting this right, even if I know nothing.
Right.
All right, so the last 2 are that they actually ritually search the basement of the Parliament buildings for powder. In what? Read that again exactly, Dave.
I'll read the 2 remaining choices. Which of these is false about Guy Fawkes? A. When asked by his torturers who his conspirators were, Fawkes said, quote, "the king himself for his sins." Or D. Because of the gunpowder plot, to this day, before the king arrives at Parliament, royal bodyguards do a ceremonial search of the cellar for explosives.
Okay, I'm going to say that is correct. I'm going to say that the Guy Fawkes did not condemn the king. He did not call out the king when he was being executed. I'm going to say that that's false.
Is that your final answer?
Unfortunately, yes.
Well, Moshe, you are in fact the king of this question because yes, it is not true at all. It's interesting that they made him such a the Guy Fawkes character such a hero because honestly, he was tortured for 2 days. He confessed to everything. He gave up
It was
names.
horrible. It was horrible. Actually, Guy Fawkes, as
Yeah.
far as I recall, at that time there was drawing and quartering, right?
Oh yeah.
Reason. And so what you were supposed to do is they were half hung. So the guy was it's almost like that's.
You should see me. I'm half hung. It's horrible.
You're half hung, and so you're not very conscious. But he, as far as I know, maybe this is apocryphal, but he tried to sort of, hang himself really fast, and the rope broke, so he was conscious the whole time when they were quartering.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't hear that. No, I heard that he
That's what I heard
purposely
about
jumped to break his neck so that he wouldn't be tortured for 2 more days.
But he did not succeed, as far as I.
Oh,
So then what's the purpose of the T.S. Eliot poem where they say Guy Fawkes, he's dead, save a penny for the old guy? Is the old guy the king?
maybe King James I. I honestly
know.
don't know the.
No.
Yeah,
I must tell you, I heard this story. It might be apocryphal. I'm not sure about it.
I'm not sure either. I'm not a Guy Fawkes expert.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, and what were their pennies back then? What kind of money?
It's
Were
Eliot.
there pennies? That's good. They have the big pennies in England.
Yeah,
pennies and full pennies.
Oh, hey, Penny.
Penny Marshall.
Penny.
She was so old at that point that she was born back in the day.
Happening.
So
Aha.
I didn't realize this, but Macbeth was based kind of apparently on a Jesuit priest, Henry Garnet, who was also executed for the gunpowder plot. So,
Ask Vicki how her benefit went.
let's take a moment and.
Oh, it was really good.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I did a performance at a Catholic school. And they were very, very, very happy. And that crowd, if I said the word "the," they were laughing. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
that's
great.
great.
It was great. They will definitely have me back.
Well, was that Holy Ghost Bingo or was that
It was Holy Ghost Bingo
cool.
because it was the holidays. Oh, look at that! Yeah.
Was that Guy
That's
Fawkes?
Guy
They're
Fawkes.
celebrating Guy Fawkes Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Tony Fawkes, Guy's brother.
Ethan
That was crazy like a fox.
Tony, Tony, what are you doing here?
All right, now we have so far a tie game. We have Eddie Brill with 2 points and Moshe Denburg with 2 points. Vicki not yet on the board, but here's
Come on, Vicki. Come on.
I can do it. I
You
can
do
guess.
it, babe.
But this question is for Moshe.
Thank you,
So
Moshe.
you can take the lead if you get. But guess what, Moshe?
Three clues in the
It's not a
news.
regular question. Yes, it is. It is.
It's my turn. It's my turn.
It is
Right?
your turn. But you get 3 clues in the news.
3 clues in the news. This is always tough, but go for it.
Yeah, well, go for it. I'll explain to Moshe again and to Eddie. 3 clues in the news is this.
I'm gonna write them down.
We have 3 different words, 3 clues. And these words are not related to each other. Each word individually is related to the word that you're trying to think of. And the word you're trying to think of is something that happened in the news. So, for example, there's always better to give an example of this kind of thing.
course.
Where are we? What's an example? If I were to say, or spider shines pox, you would choose what word? What word goes with all, like blank or
Say it slowly.
spider?
Web
Shines.
shine, web shine.
I got it right away.
I
'cause
got
we
it
did
too.
this.
Yeah, I got it too.
What is it, Eddie?
You want me to say it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is not. This is just an example.
Monkey shines, monkey pox.
Monkey
You know.
shines,
Right.
Monkey.
There you go.
Spider.
Okay, now you got it.
Now that's how it works. So, so Moshe,
Yeah.
your 3 clues in the news. Again, the word that you're looking for is also something that has to do with something recently in the news.
News. Okay.
Card, bowling, thumb.
Thumb. Okay. Okay. Let me just take a look.
We can sing Thumbelina while we're waiting. You know.
She was a tiny.
No bigger than my thumb.
Then my thumb. No. Yeah, Joyce sang that to me on our wedding night. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Here's an update you could give them.
Here is Thumbkin. Here is Thumbkin.
Bowling ball, card.
Oh dear. By the way, Joyce just showed this to me. We have a breaking news thing here. Please don't lick the poison toad in the national forest.
Well,
they're speaking to Stu. Who was it who had to kiss the toad to make him a prince? So what's the story? Who was it? The
Prince, wasn't it? Yeah, or something like that. Or I told you so.
It was some princess.
I told you so. Huh?
Yeah, right.
Okay, now just a second. Card bowling thumb. I just doesn't dawn on me. Just a second.
Vicki, hold your ears. How does a frog masturbate? Rub it. Okay.
I think we should have just held our ears anyway.
Thank you very much.
Constantly doing that anyway,
Well, I suppose there's a time limit to this, but just
it kind of is, yeah. You're coming up on it. So, the words are the clues: card, bowling, thumb. I like that frog joke.
Yeah, I do too.
I could tell.
He likes a lot of his jokes.
I don't know.
I should think about the news. Think of things that happened in the news.
What happened in the news? Of course, it could be American. It could be. It wouldn't be Canadian news. You guys don't know anything about Canadian.
Nothing. No, nor do we want to.
Not a damn thing.
Leave it alone. It's much too boring. But it could also be international news. Okay, just a second. Cartress. Who was okay?
In this particular case, you may not be best off looking for news. Is not hugely whatever. So
okay,
try and go for the word instead.
I don't know.
What is it?
I'll go with the word ball. Your thumb. The ball of your thumb, the bowling ball, card ball. No, yeah, well, ball card. Like baseball cards or something like that. That's the only thing I could think of is ball.
Is that your final answer?
Unfortunately, it is my final answer.
Well, even though we're having a ball talking with Moshe Denburg, that is not the correct answer. So but no, it was a very good guess, a very good try. But we're going to roll the die, and it comes up number 4. I think somebody's got that. Was that?
That's me.
That was yours. Hold on. This now comes up 1. This now comes up 3. I think, Eddie, that's yours.
I'm number 3. I wish I was not on the. I'm a little confused by how this question goes and what we're looking for in the answer.
So here's the deal, Eddie. These 3 words are not connected to each other.
Okay.
They're 3 separate, randomized-ish words.
Got
But each one of them connects in like a little phrasey thing to the word that we're looking for, just as you did with monkeypox, monkey shines. Right. So this is going to be with card.
I got it.
Yeah, okay.
Green card, bowling green, all that stuff. Is that the
green thumb? Green is a good answer.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
I have 6 or 7 other answers, but I'm going to go with that one.
Vicki, are you turning green with envy? Because that was, in fact, the correct answer for Eddie Brill. Eddie, what gave it to you? You were asking suddenly the rules, and you knew it. What happened?
Yeah, because I was confused by the monkey part, but that was just an example of how the game is played. And then it all started to come together. I'm a wordplay.
Bowling green and green thumb.
Green thumb, green card. And the reason, and again, it's kind of somewhat obscure, especially to you, Moshe, but this past week, Gail Green, the New York Magazine food critic for many, many years. She passed away at the age of 88. So she was the woman who literally popularized the word foodie. That came from her, and she co-founded City Meals on Wheels. So a pretty great lady, actually.
Okay, well, good on you, Eddie. Hey, I told you the newbie is always the winner.
Well, Eddie with 4 points already.
He's a smart cookie too, Vicki. He's a smart
Does
cookie.
Eddie have 4 or 6?
Yes,
I have 4. We've done 3 questions.
I've got 2. He's got 4.
Got it.
Okay. Now, as we move into round 2 of our yesterday trivia quiz with 3 more questions before we get to our tiebreaker, which we do whether there's a tie or not. It's that kind of
okay.
So,
fun of it.
Eddie picked up 2 points on that one, but now Eddie can really take the lead if you get 2 more points on this.
Is it or is it me?
It's I'm.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Our order is Vicki, Eddie,
Vicki, thank you for keeping them
Yeah,
on the straight
sorry.
and narrow.
Yeah,
I'm very, very sorry. Yes,
more narrow than.
especially narrow.
It's
Yes.
straight. Yeah,
So
that's
Vicki,
sure. We don't want straight here. What's funny about straight?
so, well, I'm not going to go there. But Vicki, I'm going there with you for this question. Which,
Okay.
hey, Vicki, guess what?
It's that change thing.
No, it's 3 clues in the news again.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Here's another one.
All right,
Works the
let me
same
write
way.
this down. Okay.
The clues are plant, play, staying.
Would you spell that third one?
Sure. Staying. S-T-A-Y-I-N-G.
Okay. Staying put. Playground. Stay ground. Plant ground. Plant. You have to start thinking about it, huh? So fake plant. Hmm. Okay. I'm gonna say ground. I know it's wrong. Playground, ground plant ground thing. So it's wrong, but I'll just say ground.
Can I
Just to
ask a
say
question?
something.
A very quick question, Dave.
Yeah.
When you give these clues, like for example, with card, bowling, and thumb, green went in front of each one. Are they consistent that way? It's either in front or at the back.
It could be in front and could be in back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay, it could be mixed.
it could absolutely be mixed. You know, I like variety that way. So
Okay, Vicki answered. I'm sorry.
It could be like staying home, play home, home play, plant, home plant, stuff like that.
Something like that. But you chose ground.
Ground, yeah, because I don't know.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, your answer is groundless, Vicki. So that's
Right.
the correct answer. We're going to roll the die and going to see. We have 6, which is Vicki's number. We have, of course, that was number 2. And then we have 3, which is Eddie.
Eddie,
Okay.
again, come on, Eddie, can you do it?
I don't
If
know
Eddie gets
because I
this
like
one, he's
eggplant, but
basically, I
then
think he's
staying put was
guessing
good,
it
and and say that the 3 was plant, staying, and what was the third one? Play.
Play.
Right. How about word play? Nah, that's just I'll take it back because that's word playing. It would be.
Yeah, staying is I think a key here.
Right.
Yeah, staying put, staying there,
I was thinking
staying
plant-based.
plant-based, but yeah.
And they're separate words. It's not like it would be planters.
No, it would go
Okay.
with plant specifically.
Like a compound.
Right. Plant-based, but it doesn't go with the other ones. Planned Parenthood. No, that's
Staying home.
No, we'll abort that answer.
yeah, of course. It's gonna kill me when I hear it, but not literally. But maybe.
I will remind you that the answer has something to do with something that's going on in the news.
Right. Okay. How about power plant? Power.
Play, staying
Word
power.
power.
Oh, it is
You know
power.
what? Power is a great word for
It
all-
is power.
Is that your final answer, Eddie
Yeah.
Brill?
Yeah.
Oh my God! What a powerful man you are!
Yeah, that's
Got
great.
it. 6 points for Eddie. What put that one in your head?
I have this thing since I'm a little child with words, and it's always they dance in my head, and that's I do a lot of wordplay like Carlin did and all the stuff like that. And how can you have a word like nonchalant when there's no such word as chalant? I mean, that's the kind of material I kind of started with. So I'm just all this stuff is dancing around in my head, and power, that just came in.
And I am kind of.
I was
What does it
focusing on
mean?
the word plant. And
What's the news item?
Well, the news item is that right now the Powerball jackpot is up to $1.6
Oh,
billion.
Right.
1.8 now? Yeah.
I
Billion.
know something. I forget what it was. I think the highest it's ever been was a 1.8 billion.
Yeah, I think it's at
Yeah.
1.6, or it was yesterday.
Mhm.
Right this second, I'll bet it's close to $2 billion.
I'm gonna look
Eddie,
that
you're
up.
in a league of your own, man.
Yeah,
man. Very good.
Eddie Brill with 6 points. He's almost
Holy cow.
insurmountable.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Almost.
Surmountable. He was
Surmountable.
he was at the time of Guy Fawkes.
And
Surmountable?
Surmountable.
There we go. All right, so
There's a ball player for I think the Phillies or something like that right now. His name is Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Right, Sir Anthony is.
But it's
His parents wanted to name him Sir. Yeah, right, Sir Anthony.
It's S-E-R Anthony, Sir
Okay.
Anthony. But it sounds like Sir Anthony.
Anthony, yeah.
Yes, I love that
Kyrie
name.
Irving, right? Yeah, okay. Vicki, were you looking up something about the Powerball to get?
It's still 1.6 billion.
Only
Yeah,
one
there you
point,
go.
not even worth. Yeah.
It didn't even go up.
1.9 billion. I think okay, I
Yeah.
can use that money. But 1.6, it all goes to taxes. So why not?
Right. Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, I think you could take the entire amount, which is around 60% of the total or something like that. Eh?
Something like that.
And that's
And then we can play this game in the Cayman Islands to all four.
No, but you can do that, Moshe, but then they tax that. So
No,
let's
no,
say
no.
it's
They don't
1.6
tax that. They tax the money you earn from it.
Oh, really? Oh, so
You
to
Oh.
invest
take that
in,
amount,
yeah.
Oh, I
after
don't think so.
taxes, you take that amount and you put it in your bank account. Then every year, as you're generating money, you have to pay
No,
tax.
that's right.
Hmm.
But what happens is if it's 1.6, you're going to end up with about 8. They then tax that 8.
Oh my God.
No.
Oh yeah, I think that's true. And then
So
you
you
end
double
up
tax
They
on
only
everything?
tax the 1.6, half of it or whatever, and that's what they take off of it.
Mm.
right.
If
No,
you
no,
want
no.
that, or
No, that's just because you want that money in a lump sum.
that's
If
right.
you want it in a lump sum, they're going to give it to you minus all that money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I
Then
think
they tax it.
I think I don't know. Anyways, you know what?
Not
I
sure.
thought always that they'll be taxing the actual money that you won. And so it comes down maybe by about half or whatever. And you take that amount of money and now you've invested it and you have to pay taxes on your investments.
And you go to Langer's Deli and you buy everyone corned beef and
Okay,
pastrami.
I'm going to look it up now.
I'm
What will you actually get?
I'm coming if you're buying it.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah, me too.
I've heard that before.
I'm looking it up.
All right, here we go.
I'm
We've got
curious.
we have a question because we're in the middle of the second round of our Today Yesterday trivia quiz, and this question. Oh, I cannot believe it. This question goes directly to Eddie Brill, who
Oh,
already has
Eddie
6
is
points
getting
on the
the game.
board. This is amazing, Eddie. You could basically win the game
Right.
right.
You win the game if you get this one.
You do,
Okay.
you do. But this is another weirdy kind of a question. Okay, it's called change one letter, and
Okay.
it has to do with.
That sounds fun.
There are 2 answers, and each is worth 1 point apiece for 2 points. And the idea is you're coming up with one answer, and then that answer leads you to the next answer as well, from a little poem that I'm going to read. So you get the clue, both clues or both answers from this one poem, short poem.
Yeah.
You'll see where it goes from this. Or do I have an example of that? I wonder if I do. Hold on. It's possible.
And just while you're looking that up,
Yeah.
it says here that the IRS withholds 24% of
That's
the
what-
winnings right off the top.
Yeah.
And then you take the cash value, which in this case would be 782 million. Then that is subjected to 37% federal income tax.
Give
You mean you win 1.6 billion,
And you get $30 and
end up with
72 cents.
500 million or something like
Yeah,
that.
something
It's
like that.
700 and some, and then it gets taxed. So you end up with about 500 million. That's exactly
That's
right.
nothing. What can you
Nothing.
do with
Why
500?
bother? Save
Yeah.
It's a
your
rip-off,
dollar.
I had that on me.
man.
Yeah, right. Exactly. If my pants pockets were a little bit bigger, I could fit everything right.
Yeah.
It's a rip-off, man.
It is. Now, Eddie, let me.
I'm not a gambler.
I'm
I
going to give
remember
you.
being in Vegas a couple of years ago. We put a couple of quarters in the slot, and we ended up ding, 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 ding. We won $70 in one shot. We cashed out
Yeah.
and went to buy ice cream.
Well, yeah, and well, actually, back in the day in Vegas, you could get a lot of ice cream for $70. Now,
Oh yeah.
it's as
You
expensive
can't
as
even
Oh,
get
yeah, you're
sprinkles for that money.
I took my kids to Vegas.
You get the
in-
sprinkles
in-
for $70. Good one,
I
Eddie.
took my kids to Vegas in 2001 when it was family friendly, and I brought $100 to gamble, and I came home with $98 because every time I
That's
went
pretty good.
toward a machine, my daughter would scream, "Mom, no!" Like it was our last $100.
You need one of those
And then-
people in your family.
Yeah.
And people would look at me like I was the worst mom in the world, gambling
No.
away the food.
All right, Eddie, I have I'm going to give you an example question first.
Okay.
To show how this works.
Wonderful.
And then
Yeah, let's hear it.
you guys can do it. So this is the fake question. This is called change one letter. For example, it holds any picture you've got, change one letter and it's hot.
And it's hot.
Yes.
Okay.
It
Now,
holds-
when you said picture, it's Picture?
yes.
Or picture. Okay. So say the poem again, please.
It holds any picture you've got, change one letter and it's hot.
Yeah.
So frame to
Frame and flame.
There it is. Frame it in fact.
I got you. Okay.
That's the fake. That's the example. Now the real question of someone who was born today in 1913. Here's the poem.
November 5th, 19.
Born in Darjeeling, though not on a ranch, this actress won Oscar for being a Blanche. Get her name and you're right on the trail. Change one letter and you're using a scale.
Stella. No, scale wouldn't be.
Well, it's the actress.
Oh. Okay. So, please, one more time.
I'll read the poem one more time. Change one letter is the name of the
Okay.
clue game thing. Born in Darjeeling, though not on a ranch, this actress won Oscar for being a Blanche. Get her name and you're right on the trail. Change one letter and you're using a scale.
Hmm.
Played Blanche in the streetcar. Where was that streetcar? Oh, sorry.
And yeah, it's Eddie's question. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'm thinking out loud. That's all.
See, if I saw it in front of me, I don't want to do that, but that would make it easier for me to look at the letters and move them around. But I don't remember. I watched that movie so many times. I can't believe I can't remember her name. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass. Scale could be Claire. No, that wouldn't.
What's the last thing? What's the last line of it, Dave?
I'll read the poem one more time. Because
Okay.
Eddie has passed and then I'll roll the die. Born in Darjeeling, though not on a ranch, this actress won Oscar for being a Blanche. Get her name and you're right on the trail. Change one letter and you're using a scale. Okay, so I've got to roll the die. Hold on, I've got to see who gets the chance to answer this question. That was 2, 4. Oh, somebody's 4.
Right.
That's Moshe.
I think it must be way, but just a second. Is it wall? Wait, just a minute, because you're using a scale. Way.
I see.
Ligh. Lay
Yeah.
and way.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't
Vivian Lee.
understand.
That's right, Vivian
You're
Lee.
right.
And
It's Vivian
and
Lee.
Way.
You're
Final
exactly right.
answer?
That is my final answer.
It is the answer. Yes, correct.
Very
Moshe
good.
Denburg, well done.
I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll,
Yay.
Eddie. You look out, man. You look
I'm freaking out.
If only I got those questions.
I was in college in Boston, and
Yeah.
it was early in the morning, and we were up all night the night before, and we were sitting at this diner just in the Back Bay area of Boston, and some old-fashioned dressed postman walks in and goes, "Package for Vivian Lee, package for Vivian Lee." And my friends and I looked at each other like, did we drink poison, or what kind of drugs did we do? Vivian Lee. And the woman who owns the diner, who we know is an Asian woman, her last name Lee. So Vivian, the package was but the guy came in like he was auditioning for the movie. Package for Vivian Lee, and we were like, really?
Oh. And it was Vivian Lee was not a different. Oh, that is. You have a story for everything, Eddie. You really do. You
know what?
I'm an old man. I have been through a lot.
Eddie,
It's
you know
like
what reminds me of
The guy
that?
from Philip Morris, right?
Right. The guy was dressed like that. Yeah,
Right.
the little bow tie,
Really?
the red.
You know, it reminds me of that scene in the Blazing Saddles where Candy Graham from Mongo.
Oh yeah. Here's one more thing, Blazing Saddles. That movie, when the sheriff and the Cisco Kid are walking to go see Lily von Stupp, the incidental music is Springtime for Hitler.
Okay. Oh, really? He actually played Springtime
noticed.
in the background.
Really?
In the background, yeah, in the background there. Just incidental background music. I've seen it 1,000 times. About the 800th time I got it. Like, oh my God.
You know, I never
noticed, never processed that. Oh my
Right.
goodness.
Yeah. Thanks for telling us, Eddie.
Yes.
It's a new dimension.
Yeah.
He's still alive, Mel
Vicki,
Brooks.
did you know that? You seemed like you had known that.
I mean, I love Young Frankenstein more than, but
Blazing?
than Blazing, but they're just brilliant. I mean, really.
I just wrote a story about Young Frankenstein.
Tell me a story about Young
No,
Frankenstein.
I wrote the story about the whole, the whole idea of how it came about. They were working on Blazing Saddles, and and Gene Wilder had the idea, and Mel didn't want to do it, or he ended up, and Gene Wilder wasn't even supposed to be in Blazing Saddles. It was Gig Young who got the part, but he was he was drinking too much.
But he was too drunk.
Right, and Richard Pryor was going to play the sheriff, and he was writing the film. I wrote a whole thing about my experience with Young Frankenstein, one of the greatest films.
But Eddie, did you read his book, the recent book by Mel? All About Me? It tells all the stories there.
Yeah.
It's great reading. Great.
He told me, he came to Letterman once, and I said, does Blucher mean glue in German? Because every time she'd say, Frau Blucher, and he said, I think it does. And then I found out later that he was wrong. It doesn't mean
Blau is German, I think, for blue. I don't know.
Frau Blucher. Frau means lady.
Yeah, lady.
Frau, yeah. But Blucher.
Have you ever heard Mel Brooks' story about Cary Grant?
No.
You must have.
No.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You have to listen to him tell it.
Okay.
He was fascinated with Cary Grant and was, like, oh my God, it's Cary Grant. But go on YouTube. There's two different versions. Listen to them both, because in one he tells it a longer, better version. So listen to them both, but you will laugh like crazy.
Oh my God!
I don't want to spoil it.
He just turned 96 in June.
And we were lucky to have Carl Reiner on the show a few years ago, and that was
he actually passed away finally.
I've met so many people in my life, which is dream come true, but Carl Reiner is the one person I never met, and
What about Dick Van Dyke? He's still going.
He's still going. He's in his 90s.
And everyone says he's one of the nicest, most fun guy to hang out with. Another person I had never met.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you though, when you were the booker, well, not just the book, when you were the warm-up person on Letterman, did you get to meet all the stars who came through? Or
not all of them. Not all of them.
After what? No.
Mostly it was who you knew, but a couple of times I went beyond what was good and right, and especially when it came to like, Jimmy Vaughn, the guy who wrote I Am a Lineman for the County, Jimmy.
Oh, Webb.
Jimmy Webb. Like, I'm such a fan of Jimmy Webb. When he came to the show, I never met him, but I knocked on the door and said, is it okay? I have a couple of questions for you. And I asked him questions that I had, because I heard that Someone Left the Cake Out in the Rain was a part of a trilogy. And he said, wasn't that song long enough on its own? There's a few people. I got Burt Bacharach. I got to sit at the piano with Burt Bacharach, which was.
I wish I could have done that.
And the ultimate was meeting Sophia Loren.
You met Sophia. She's still alive.
When I was a little boy, the big poster was Farrah Fawcett in her orange bathing suit with everything pointing north. But I was the guy who had Sophia Loren in my room, and I loved her. And the Sisters movie, The Two Sisters, and all that. And when she came on the show, I was so nervous, but I really wanted to meet her. And she couldn't have been more gracious, more beautiful, more lovely. She kissed my hand. It was just dream come true. This is my last moment. I had that in my life.
How old were you at the time, Eddie?
I worked there from I was in 1997. I was about 40. I was just 39 years old. So when I met her, I was about 40.
Wow.
Well, she's
Isn't
still
that
going.
wonderful?
As far as I'm still going, she's still alive.
Yeah, she's
I think
still
Burt
alive.
Bacharach is too, isn't he?
What? Who?
Al
Yeah.
Davis died, but I think Burt Bacharach
Bacharach
is
is
Yeah,
still
Burt
alive.
Bacharach's
Yeah.
still alive. And I said to him, when I was growing up and I would play music, we played this whole all Bacharach songs and we called it Back to Bacharach.
Right.
And he said, "Oh, why didn't I think of that?" And I don't know if he eventually did it, but it was such a dream come true to be there.
Fair's fair. Very quickly, Vicki and Moshe, before we do a little bit more of the game.
I'm sorry that we're going off on these
No,
things.
Oh no, this is fun. I
Game.
enjoyed it very much, Eddie. Don't
We
be
only
sorry.
have one more question, right? We
Well,
only
one
have
more on the tiebreaker.
Who
Yeah.
is
cut us
Burt
down.
Bacharach? Oh, wow, oh my God.
Have either of you, Vicki and or Moshe, met an idol like that, like one of your all-time, and met them in person?
Well, an actual idol that I really, really thought so highly of. I mean, I can't think of anyone specifically, but
Besides
I've met
me.
some very,
Yeah.
very significant people, like Jaipal Krishnamurti in India, a truly brilliant guru, or more than a guru, a teacher, and also. When I was living in Israel between 67 and 73, I was there for the 6-Day War. And after the 6-Day War, so I used to be part of a troop that went down to the Sinai to play for the Israeli troops in the bunkers. And one time there was some shelling. And so when there's shelling, we're all wearing flak jackets and we go into the bunker to wait until the shelling stops. It wasn't very dangerous, but of course it's still a bit of danger. And who comes into the bunker and sits right next to me? Moshe Dayan.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Wow.
Moshe Dayan sat right next to me. I mean, we didn't exactly have a big conversation, but he happened to be touring the troops.
Fantastic, though. Yeah.
That was a very special occasion.
And Moshe, you saw Moshe Dayan, and he half saw you, so that was kind of
And he didn't hear me sing because at that time we were saying I don't think we weren't giving a performance at the time, but it was interesting to be sitting next to an icon of Jewish and Israeli culture.
Vicki, you've done the theater for 30 something years now.
The icon that I met, who I could not believe, was Edward Albee. I loved Edward Albee's writings, and in fact, that really started me in, being more interested in writing short plays. Actually, when I was very young, I was given a copy of his very first collection, and so here I am in Chicago, and he's at an event, and there weren't a lot of people there, but it was, for lack of a better, there were a lot of gay men there, and they were nervous about approaching him. And he was not very nice to a lot of people. He wasn't, because I think he felt like he should have gotten more notice. And so here I am. I walk up to him and say hi. I tell him the story. I was a young girl. I got your first collection. I fell in love with it. I still have it. I want to talk to you about your writing. I started asking him some questions. We talked for half an hour, and to the point that I thought, geez, I better leave because there's a lot of other people. Nobody wanted to approach him. And I said, I feel like such an idiot, but would you give me your autograph? And there was a program that they had for this event, and he signed it over to me.
Oh, that's so cool.
You still have it?
So great. I still have it, of course. Yeah.
And it's good to, everybody has bad sides. Like Eddie was talking about like an hour ago. Like sometimes he was probably a jerk to certain people, and other times he was really helpful and really. A friend of mine and a late friend of the Daverhood, a critic named Herb Simpson, had a long time correspondence. Yeah. You know Herb Simpson?
Yeah, I know the name. Yeah.
You couldn't pot. He was a teacher in Geneseo and a theater and dance critic.
And I'm thinking of somebody else. There was a Simpson who was a writer, producer.
Homer. You're thinking Homer.
Homer. You're probably
I'm stuck at Homer.
That's a cartoon. How are you going to bring a tune onto Dave's?
But to have to write back and forth to him and to have the thing, it's beautiful. And all of a sudden, one of the most nervous person for me, I was the most nervous was meeting Dick Cavett, who was one of my heroes. And oddly enough, Dick Cavett's like my uncle. I spent Thanksgiving last year at his house. It's crazy. And I said to him, after this, I was the creative director of the Johnny Carson Comedy Festival in Johnny's hometown in Norfolk, Nebraska. So the very first year we give away a Johnny Carson Award, and who better than Dick Cavett, because he's from Nebraska, he wrote for Johnny, there's a million connections. So I was really nervous to meet him, and I very rarely get nervous, but I was really nervous, and we hit it off like in a second. So we ended up getting together after the festival was over, and I'm sitting and I said, I don't think you understand how surreal this is for me, because I watched your show, all the time. I told him my favorite episode and all the stuff. He says, look, I know what it's like because I worshipped, Groucho Marx. And a very similar thing happened where I went to lunch with him after I met him. And I said to him, but yeah, you're no Groucho. And he fell off the chair laughing, and we've been best friends ever since.
Very nice.
Eddie, if you speak to, if you go for lunch or whatever with him again, please tell him, and this is with all due respect to all the three people I'm talking to right now, of all the greatest guests that I've had on this program in the Daverhood, Dick Cavett, way, just the most natural conversationalist storyteller. You were pretty great, Eddie. I've got to say, and you guys also are great, wonderful. But there was something about Dick Cavett that he was just, I didn't know how he would be.
Nobody likes it when you appraise somebody else in front of the
Moshe, you're a little.
It's okay. I know how to take it. I'm a rabbi's son. It's all right.
Yeah, and Vicki, you're a fan, and we have you every week, and we love you to pieces. But Dick Cavett, no, all right.
Dick Cavett.
I mean, it's so weird, but it's become normal. But it's just very bizarre because we're fans, we love the arts, and when we be able to meet and also the smart leaders like Moshe Dayan or people who change the world, and just to be able to be in their presence, much less.
Absolutely, it is an interesting sort of turn of it's in the mind and also in one's experience. I have one little anecdote more. Don Rickles, may he rest in peace, was here to do a fundraiser for one of the Jewish organizations. And my band, Simmers, played a warm-up act for him, right? And so the stage manager says, you want to meet him? Because we were backstage after we played our music. So I said, sure. So I meet Don Rickles. The guy was bristling with energy and comedy, just the way you look at him, right? And he says, oh, I love your music. You should come to Vegas, but they won't know what to make of you. We're doing Jewish music.
Yay. All right, let's get back to the game, though.
That's
let's
a story.
Back to
That's a great story. He's the greatest.
I love him.
Absolutely. We have, though, one more question. And this Moshe.
Yeah.
I put you on the spot. I know I've already damaged your feelings.
Oh, it's my turn.
He's got the last question.
By putting you slightly under Dick Cavett, but
I could actually tie Eddie if I get this.
Yes,
I'm okay with it.
No pressure whatsoever.
Come on. We'll help you, Moshe. We'll help you.
Yeah, I'll help you.
The year was 1919. Okay, remember? By the way, we're playing the yesterday game on Dave's Gone By. It's trivia questions worth 2 points apiece. And November 5th, 1919 is what we're talking about. Born today in South Dakota to Norwegian immigrant parents is musician Myron Floren. He was taught piano. Myron Floren. He was taught piano, but when he was 6 years old, his father bought him a $10 mail-order squeeze box, and the rest is magic. Which of these was not an album by Myron Floren?
Oh, God help us.
A. El Acordeon Latino. B. The Best of the Worst Fest. C. Disco Polka. Or D. 10 Fingers of Fun.
Ooh.
No,
Okay, so Myron Floren?
Myron Floren.
Sounds like a Jerry Lewis thing. Myron Floren.
Floren, hey.
Myron will be enough. Also Floren.
Moshe, you can use those album titles that are not real for your next album.
The next Simmers album could be.
All right, very good.
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to try to. So one of them is not right?
Yeah,
one of
all the others are actual Myron Floren albums.
Okay, Myron Floren. His father bought him a squeeze box, and he's playing the squeeze box, so he's got it to do polka. But let me hear the four again.
Okay. Which of these is not a Myron Floren album? A. El Acordeon Latino. B. The Best of the Worst Fest. C.
The Best of the Worst what?
Worst Fest. Best.
Worst.
WURSTFEST.
Like Liverpool.
Worst Fest. The Best of the Worst Fest.
There you go.
Like a sausage.
I got it. Vicki.
Sausage. That's a Chicago.
Sausage.
I had to say it like a Chicagoan.
Yeah,
Sausage.
it was perfect.
Sausage. C, Disco Polka, or D, 10 Fingers of Fun.
Those are good titles.
They are. I think they all should be
They're
albums.
all good titles. You're right.
I think.
So one of them he didn't do it.
Oh my goodness! I
10
just.
Fingers of Fun or Latino. You know, we probably would. Okay, what was the Latino again?
El Acordeon Latino.
El Acordeon Latino.
In English, it's the Latin accordion, right? So
Yeah, of course.
you know.
The Latin accordion. Yeah, you
10
probably could
Fingers
see
of
him delving
Fun.
into that.
Yeah, that sounds like a different kind of album altogether.
What's the
Yeah,
name
but I
of the
bet he
polka?
did it. I
The
bet it's
polka one? What's the name of the
Yeah.
polka?
Well, which one?
Okay,
Which one?
read
I'll
them
read
all
them. I'll read them all
slowly,
again. I'll read them all again.
Clearly and slowly.
Which is not a Myron Flooring album? A, El Acordeon Latino. B, The Best of the Wurst Fest. C, Disco Polka. Or D, 10 Fingers of Fun.
I don't know. It seems to me 10 Fingers of Fun is the lamest of all of them. So
I don't know. What about Disco Polka?
I think
No.
Disco Polka, you probably, why not?
Gotta spice it
He's
up,
trying
right?
to appeal to, I mean, this is a lot of kitsch. That's
The best
associated
of the
with it.
Wurst Fest.
The best of the Wurst
Wurst
Fest. It's not
Fest.
what you
That could
see,
be
but
the
that's-
worst of the best fest.
But that's
There we go.
actually a very good title. And the Disco
It is.
Polka, it's like catchy, right?
Right.
And then the first one was, again, the
The Mexican
Latino.
Latin accordion.
That sounds like, something in exploration. 10 Fingers of Fun, it sounds like the lamest part. Now, maybe he fell down on the job when it came to 10 Fingers of Fun, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I want you to know. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt and saying that 10 Fingers of Fun, which is the worst of the titles, is the
Not the
one.
worst, W-U-R.
Worst of the time, yes.
Yeah,
So wait,
exactly.
Is that what you're going with? Is your
Yeah, I'm going with 10 Fingers of freaking Fun.
Oh, Moshe, I'm not just going to give you a hand. I'm going to give you 2 hands because that is the correct answer.
Excellent.
The one I made up.
Hey, I caught you, babe.
Excellent.
I don't think
We have a
That's
tie
right.
game.
I don't think you use
Whoa.
10 fingers with an accordion. You probably use
We
8.
haven't had a
That's
tie
when
game in a
you
long
see,
time.
You're right. The thumbs aren't usually used.
Right. I was thinking it
So
was
that
8 fingers
also-
of fun.
Yeah, it should
Oh,
be.
wait,
used.
if you're kind of holding the thumb. You're right.
But you
It's
do have to hold
9 fingers.
towards-
Yeah.
It's like on the cell phone, you have to have 1 finger down here and then 3 here. I think the same thing with the accordion.
There he is.
Oh,
Let me see.
He's playing in your backyard.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You
is
know
that,
what?
um,
It
is
sounds. It
that,
looks like. It
Lawrence
looks like
Welk?
he was like a Lawrence Welk.
Yeah.
It was. He was
Yeah.
on Lawrence Welk just introduced him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I thought.
Yeah. That's all we need of
So
that.
we've probably all seen him in our youth. Eddie, we've seen him.
Right.
We've seen the guy, but we didn't know his
Didn't
name was
know.
Byron.
And I watched Lawrence
Laura.
Welk with my grandmother. So
You,
No, Lawrence
do you
Welk
know
was
that
the
song?
dude.
Oh, I hated Lawrence Welk. I couldn't.
I
My,
didn't
my
care
mom
for
would
that
turn it
much
on. I'd
either.
walk out of the room.
the
But
Lemon
you know that
Sisters.
song, "One Toke Over the Line, Sweet Jesus."
I
Right.
remember. Yes, he did that one.
He had
What?
that on, and he called it a new spiritual. And you can see the players in the back going, "I don't think this guy understands what this means."
Yeah, right. But it was a very religious song done by a lot of
One toke
religious
over the
One
line.
bands
toke
who
over
didn't
the
have-
line, sweet
Yeah,
Jesus.
one
What's the
toke
name of
over
it
the
again?
line.
What was the name?
One toke over the line. He's
Yeah.
sitting
One
downtown
toke
at a
over the
railway
line.
station.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Toke.
Now this is very important, folks. We've had a lot of laughs. We've had a lot of fun here today, but we have.
Where that ends.
I'm
Oh,
going to play
yeah.
it, even though it doesn't matter. But I'm going to
No,
play
this has
it.
been actually probably the most fun I've ever had on the show because
Uh-huh.
Eddie, I give you credit for this. I give you credit.
Well, I'll take
Good.
credit where credit
Eddie's
is due.
good.
Thank
We're not done. We're not.
Okay.
Remember, this is a
We have
show
a tiebreaker
Oh,
now.
Eddie, get yourself a piece of paper.
and something to write with, please. Yeah. If you have, great piece of
Give me
paper,
a piece
something
of
to write
paper.
with. Because what we're going to do is I will read this tiebreaker question a couple of times, but instead of just saying it to the camera, you're going to show us after a count. I'll give like a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then everybody will hold up their answers to the camera, and so that way everybody gets to answer the question at the same time.
B.
And
B.
where's the B? Where's the B?
That's by you.
Oh, get him away. Where's the B?
Is it by me?
I don't know. I don't see him.
It was right there.
Scary. Scary B. Scary B. Get away, B.
Oh, a bee.
Okay.
And B.
Bee is not going to bother you.
Right.
Famous.
Bees don't want. Wasps are difficult, but bees.
I think it was a wasp. Yeah, it was a wasp.
Oh, it was a wasp.
It was-
Oh, it was a
Oh,
wasp.
wasps.
Okay,
Well,
They'll
I
bite
lost
you.
that
I
one.
don't get along with wasps. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our tiebreaker question for this Today Yesterday quiz. We have a tie game between Eddie Brill and Moshe Denburg. Vicki, you're playing the
Sad.
for funsies.
Sad. I know.
Let's see if Dick Cavett were here.
I got if I had gotten other questions, I would be ahead.
There you go.
Right.
I knew the answers to their questions.
The luck of the draw. So here's the final question. Again, don't answer either. You'll write down your answers, and we'll call for them when it's time. The year was 1740. Volume 3 of A Treatise on Human Nature is published today. It's a big day for its author, who remembered that his poor-selling Volume 1, quote, fell dead boring from the press. Can you name this historian and philosopher who believed that human behavior is governed by passion, and who changed his name from Horn because people kept mispronouncing it?
What year was it? 1740.
1740.
And he changed his name to Horn.
From Horn.
From Horn.
Yeah, he was
H-O-R-N-E.
Lena Horn.
And what was his basic philosophy?
I'll read the question again.
Okay.
Here's the born. Not born today, but on this date in 1740, Volume 3 of A Treatise on Human Nature is published. It's a big day for the author, who remembered that his poor-selling Volume 1, quote, fell dead boring from the press. Can you name this historian and philosopher who believed that human behavior is governed by passion, and who changed his name from Horn because people kept mispronouncing it?
Horn. H-O-R-N-E or H-O-R-N? Horn.
Tough one.
It is a tough one.
1740. What philosophers were writing?
And his third treatise. The first one was poorly received.
Right. The Bible. The second book was different.
The reprint was the best one.
The New Testament.
Well, the first one is the Old Testament, so I mean that's the Torah, right?
And the third is what? Book of Mormon? How does that work?
Probably something like that.
Yeah, he changed his name to Torah.
All right.
Just a second. So basically, okay, just tell me again. His
Sure.
basic philosophy was that humans what?
Human behavior is governed by passion rather than logic, reason, that sort of things.
Okay, I'm gonna put.
All right. And Eddie and Vicki, do you have something written down?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to question one more time, and then I'm going to give a 3, 2, 1 countdown answer. We may have a winner. We may end this with a tie. We will see. But here we go. 1740, Volume 3 of A Treatise on Human Nature is published. The author remembered that his poor-selling Volume 1 fell dead boring from the press, unquote. Can you name this historian and philosopher who believed that human behavior is governed by passion, and who changed his name from Horn because people kept mispronouncing it? 3, 2, 1. Let's see those answers. I see Hobbs.
Rip Torn. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Lin-Manuel Miranda. No, it is not Lin-Manuel Miranda. It is not Hobbs. That is a very good answer, Rip, because he was philosophically. Did you know Rip Torn? Before I give the answer, did you know Rip Torn?
No, I never got to meet him, but
Oh,
I worship the
physicist,
comedy
no?
ground.
Yeah.
He walks on.
He was married to Geraldine Page.
Ah.
And they're.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Rip Taylor.
Rip Taylor.
I knew Rip Taylor very well, but not Rip Torn.
No,
Rip Torn was married to Geraldine Page, and their mailbox said Torn Page on it.
Oh, I love that.
Great.
Love that. But
How about
Rip Taylor? I had the wrong guy in my head.
Hume.
How did you? Wait. Well, okay. So it was a tie game, but David, how did you?
I got Hobbes wrong, and then now I'm saying Hume.
Well, You should have said Hume first, because
Really, I got Hume right. Damn it! I was thinking
I
of
had
it
Yule,
first,
Yule Brenner. It's
Damn
fine.
it.
Oh no,
Hume,
it was,
Hume
No.
Cronin. Hume Cronin.
Cronin.
yeah.
Wonderful actor. And Jessica Tandy. Holy cow.
Right.
What a
Jim
And
Stewart,
so
Radio
actually,
Shack.
Hume is correct.
Mm.
It is correct, but you didn't
David
do
Hume,
it.
but yeah, but
No,
you had
I
Hobbes
admit
first.
it. Vicki, you're right. I will not take credit for that.
Right.
Maybe in the imagination, you could give me half a point.
No.
I
I was
would.
giving you
I would
the game if you got
I give you
Hume
four.
first.
All 4 of my points go to you.
No way.
So generous.
Don't
And
It's
all
you
the
okay to have
5
a
points
tie.
go to you too.
that
You can have all mine.
generosity.
But we have just so much generosity of spirit here in Dave's Gone By. I'm having such wonderful
Oh
contestants.
wait, let me get a picture. Everyone look
Oh
real
yeah,
nice.
you always take a picture, Vicki.
I
And you know, I want to
I've
tell
been
you,
doing that lately.
I
and it's
love,
nice.
I love the autumn leaves behind you. I love them.
Thank you.
It's
you.
perfect for the season.
Well,
for sure.
Autumn in New York.
All right, look right up. Look like you're
Oh.
smiling, like you like each other.
Okay, here we go.
I'll take a couple. Done. Because sometimes, it doesn't work. Hold on. 1, 2, get off. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
3.
Very good. All right, I'll send those to Dave and he'll
Please.
post them somewhere.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
usually on the show after we post it on davesgoneby.com, I'll throw up the photo that Vicki takes of us on Zoom. But first of all, Vicki, you were also holding up your book, so please,
yes.
everybody.
Let's see it. Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Someone just asked me about it the other day, so I
The
had-
Chicago Kind. That's great stuff. Love
Yeah.
the title.
Close Encounters of the
It's a
Chicago.
fun book.
Vicki's been living in Chicago for all these years, doing, of course, late night catechism. As now you're done with Holy Ghost bingo because Halloween's over.
Right.
So are you doing
No.
Christmas bingo yet, or where are you at now?
No. Right now we're doing late night catechism, and then also the game show. Are you smarter than your 8th grade nun?
Right.
That's
great.
cute. That's
So if
cute.
you're in
Really
Chicago at the Greenhouse Theater, is it on Belmont or where's that one?
It's on Lincoln Avenue. It's the old Victory Gardens. It's Lincoln Avenue, just south of Fullerton. So a lot of people know it.
See it. Are you appearing in any of them this weekend, or do you have other people doing the shows? Or
I am doing tonight and tomorrow.
Whoa! So if they go to the Greenhouse Theater, they will see Vicki Quade doing "Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun" or Late Night Catechism at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago. And Moshe, do you have new music coming out? Are you still? I know you did a re-release.
Well, I'm composing as daily for some or some groups here. And now, I don't know whether Eddie was told this before, but I have delved strongly into intercultural music. So I've had some things that we had our 20th anniversary of the Vancouver Intercultural Orchestra just recently.
Cool.
An organization that I founded, and that's kind of where I'm at. And as far as the Tzimmus stuff, it's ongoing. We released not this year. We released a completely updated remixed version of our debut album, which made it onto NPR's All Things Considered, called "Sweet and Hot" originally, and this one's called "Sweeter and Hotter."
Oh,
Sweeter and
Hotter, and it's basically our first album, which has some of my originals on it, as every album does. And so, if your guests are really,
there we go.
they can gorge themselves on all manner of my personal trivia.
Does Tzimmus mean something?
Well, Tzimmus, as you know, it's the melange thing. So the whole idea is that
Tzimmus for you and your family.
Well, but it's not just that.
Oh.
Tzimmus is like a big melange of things, right? And it's also a big mix-up. And the reason I called it Tzimmus originally is because we don't just do klezmer. We don't just do Yiddish. We do Yiddish, klezmer, Hebraic, Ladino. We do
disco polka.
the entire gamut, the entire Tzimmus of Jewish music. Get it?
Yes.
That's the idea.
Well, that's Moshe
Best and the
Denburg.
worst.
So go to tzimmus.net for all things Moshe Denburg. And let us absolutely not forget our brand new and wonderful friend of the Daverhood, who is Dick Cavett is here. Eddie Brill is right. But go see
Eddie, you're brilliant, man.
Eddie Brilliant. He is going to be with his son doing tag team stand-up comedy. And who's the other? DeMonica, what was the woman's name?
Anna Bianco.
Anna Bianco. All three of them will be doing comedy at Pangea next Saturday night at 7 in New York, 2nd Avenue, 11th Street. Please go get your tickets to see Eddie Brill.
Yeah, go to Pangea.com and get tickets because there's only 50 seats and it's going to sell out. But I love the room because it's so intimate and so perfect.
Great.
And there's a lot of music there. It's mostly music. They're starting to do a little comedy, and this would be a lot of fun. And you can go to, Eddie Comic on Instagram if you want to say hello. EddieBrill.com. You can say hello. I'm on Facebook and Eddie Brill, but it's harder to get stuff from people there. But just Google me and.
Remember,
I'll answer any questions or whatever. Talk about guilt and
so
fear.
many stories. That's the thing. We want Eddie Brill back quite soon, just to tell more stories about comedians, more folks.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah, just
It's a
wonderful.
lot of fun. I wish you a lot of success. You too, Vicki.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Or should you call me T'Challa, isn't it?
What?
What?
And didn't you name me? Is it T'Challa?
Oh, right.
What's,
right.
what's my Jewish name?
Oh, I forgot about that.
What did we say?
I think
What
it's
did we
T'Challa.
say?
T'Challa.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
It
anyway.
means, I think it means joy.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Well, Sahala, maybe it's
Sahala.
Yeah.
Sahala.
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 There we go.
Tahala.
Well, a holla out to all of you guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna let you do the kisses, do the blowy kisses as I let you all go. Thank you. You've been absolutely all great. It's been a delight to have you in the Daverhood.
I had a lot
Thanks,
of fun.
Dave.
I didn't know what I was getting into, but it was a blast.
Fantastic. See you
Thank
later,
you.
guys.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Moshe. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Oh, and bye-bye to Vicki. See you real soon. Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Dave's Gone By live on this Saturday, November 5th, 2022, here in the Marylandy Daverhood. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. This is our 870th episode of the show. We've been calling it Brill Building for obvious reasons. Wasn't he just the most, such great stories, such a great character, such a cool dude. Eddie Brill in the Daverhood. Just an absolute delight, not to mention Vicki Quade, Moshe Denburg, and Rabbi Sol Solomon. As a matter of fact, let's we just had them introducing what they're doing. They are friends of the Daverhood, people who have been on this program in months and years past. I mean, they were all on it today, but there's other folks who have been on the show over the past bunch of years, the 20 years we've been on the air, and we kind of like to let you know what they've been up to, because they might have been appearing in a Broadway show when they were on our program 10, 15 years ago. Now they're doing another show, or they're on some TV show, or they're a musician and they've got a new album out, or they're touring somewhere. We let you know about our friends of the Daverhood. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, so let's tell you about some friends of the Daverhood. For example, got to give a big hearty congratulations to our musician friend, Ray Stevens. You know Ray Stevens, the streak and Guitarzan. Well, he has made it into the Musicians Hall of Fame in Nashville on the same bill as Don McLean and Marty Stewart and some other legends of music. So yay for Ray Stevens. Also, as we said earlier in the show, some sad news. Farewell to our friend Douglas McGrath, who died on Thursday. He was doing an off-Broadway show as we speak. He was on stage that evening and then went home and didn't wake up. So farewell to our friend Douglas McGrath from we call it Bullets Over Broadway, the Carole King, beautiful, the Carole King musical, a lot of other, the film Enema. And not Enema. I would do a film called Enema. He did the film Emma. Anyway, Douglas McGrath, a farewell from us in the Daverhood. I want to let you know that Jessica Scher is doing a reading of a comedy called How to Break Up a Wedding, and they're doing it, that was on November 3rd. I'm sorry, that already happened. I hope that went well. But today, in Brooklyn, at Kingsborough Community College, in their big theater there, Kathleen Turner, she was just on the show last week, Kathleen Turner doing her solo, Finding My Voice. What?
Did she perform
is today. It's tonight. And well, she's doing it all over, but the one in Brooklyn is today or tonight. So go check out Kathleen Turner in Finding My Voice at Kingsborough Community College in Brooklyn.
Where'd the bee go?
I don't know. I didn't even see him. Sophie B. Hawkins, the singer and songwriter, she is going to be at the Suffolk Theater in Riverhead, New York. That is on November 6th. So that would be tomorrow. Go see her. And then on Monday, Donna McKechnie, the wonderful Tony-winning Donna McKechnie, is going to be a guest alongside dancer Christian Holder at Birdland in Midtown Manhattan. Seth Beeson Hirsch, the playwright and cabaret artist and singer-songwriter, he is doing his cabaret solo at the AMT Theater, speaking of Tony Sportiello. Go see him. That is on November 9th. Because, he's been doing, I think it was a Don't Tell Mama for year after year. I think he's still at Don't Tell Mama, but he's doing a special cabaret solo at the new AMT Theater in Midtown. That is happening on November 9th. And then on November 10th, Tammy Faye Starlight is going to be doing her cabaret show with a tribute to Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. That is happening, guess where? At Pangea on 2nd Avenue and 11th Street. David Cale's play Sandra is being done off-Broadway at the Vineyard Theater for the next couple of weeks. And letting you know that, oh my goodness, hon, we have an alert. You know who?
He's the one, he's everywhere.
He's ubiquitous. Like
Austin
the bee.
Pendleton.
Austin Pendleton. We have an Austin Pendleton alert. Because Austin Pendleton is directing a play called The How and the Why by Sarah Treem. That is happening on Bleecker Street at the Sheen Center, just remaining this weekend. So see it. Austin Pendleton. He's not in the show. He's directing it at the Sheen Center. And then extended off-Broadway now through November 19th, the musical Fuck 7th Grade, created and starring Jill Sobule. That is at the Wild Project on East 3rd Street. Congratulations to her. She got some really good reviews on that show. Playing now through at least the end of November, but I'm sure it's going to go through next year. It's Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano at Birdland. Get your tickets at birdlandjazz.com. They play every Saturday night at 5:30. And playing now through the end of the year, directed by our friend Lonnie Price, is directing Gabriel Byrne in Walking with Ghosts on Broadway at the Music Box Theater. Well, it's a solo show about his life and career. It's not really about ghosts, but I guess ghosts of actors past and his family past too. So there's Lonnie Price, our friend of the Daverhood. Our friend of the Daverhood, Linda Lavin, is in the play You Will Get Sick, being done at the Roundabout's off-Broadway space at the Laura Pels Theater. That is now through the middle of December. On Broadway, Tova Feldshuh is in Funny Girl. On Broadway, Lilias White is in Hadestown. On Broadway, Alan Menken wrote the music for Aladdin. Off-Broadway, Alan Menken wrote the musical for Little Shop of Horrors, which is being revived and features Stuart Zagnit as Mr. Mushnick. That is at the West Side Theater in Midtown. And then every Monday night, Jim Caruso's Cast Party at Birdland. Go to birdlandjazz.com for tickets. Evan Seplow is the founder, and wow, the birds and the dogs are going crazy this morning. Evan Seplow is
because you're yelling.
Founder and editor
So they hear you.
of StageBuddy.com.
It's because you're yelling.
Check out
See, look.
StageBuddy.com for news and reviews of New York nightlife. And then Dr. Demento, doing Dr. Demento shows still online only. He's 80 years old, and he's still doing Dr. Demento shows online at drdemento.com. And I gotta say, Eddie Brill and our guests playing today.
I think a lot of they liked that. It seemed like they were very.
It was a great panel.
What would you say?
Hamish and voluble and
they were very
fun.
all on the same page.
But it's funny, they were talking about meeting their all-time unbelievable, legendary. So Eddie Brill was saying he got to meet Sophia Loren, and she was a delight.
Vicki said Edward Albee, right?
Edward Albee, man. Well, I've got to say.
Who did Moshe's? Moshe Dayan.
Moshe Dayan.
Who did you say? Who was all your interviews?
I haven't.
You shouldn't really diss other people. But
I wasn't dissing any other people, but I will say that doing this show, I did meet him in person.
Who?
Now that I think about it, I was able, like 2 or 3 times in my life, because I went to a show that he was producing, I met Dr. Demento, Barrett Hansen. And when I was in my 20s, I went to the Bottom Line, and he produced a review show with Tiny Tim and Benny Bell and a young Weird Al Yankovic. And I went to him. I said, Doctor, thank you. I've been a fan for years. I think I got his autograph. And then over the years, of course, he's played a couple of my songs on his show.
He played Jeopardy Ken. What else did he play?
He played one other. I forget what other song he
did
played.
You do? Jeopardy Ken.
I think he did one other. I honestly can't tell you. And he was on my show twice. So I've got to say, making a connection with a man who changed my life in terms of music, in terms of radio, in terms of comedy when I was a kid, when I was probably like, 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
Hearing him on the radio.
I bet you Leslie's going to have, I have FOMO about my conference. I bet Leslie's going to have FOMO.
Remind me, I for 1 month
Fear
only?
of missing out. I bet you Leslie's going to really.
Well, having missed this.
I think she's going to really miss it.
Well, Leslie's having fun with her family, and we hope to have her back on our next show.
She's looking at a new place to move.
Yeah, well.
So,
Yeah, she mentioned on the program, sometimes you have to leave New York. Sometimes when you're a certain age.
No, but Leslie is a competitor, and with this group, she would have done really good. Well.
It would have been an interesting game between her and Eddie Brill.
Maybe you have him back.
I would love to have Eddie Brill back.
See if he
and Moshe, and Vicki,
yes,
and Dick Cavett.
Because nobody likes it. They're like, oh, that was my favorite thing, and you're sitting there going,
look at my chopped liver.
Yeah.
I know. Hey, I realized I was just about to talk about the Colorado Limerick of the Dam.
Yeah.
But I think we should make 5 or 10 minutes for. Well, by the way, those were the friends of the Daverhood. Yay!
5 minutes for lunch?
No, I completely overlooked because I got to talking about Halloween and all that other stuff, and we had a very long and fun quiz. We can do at least a couple of Greeley crimes and old times.
Let's do 5. That's 5 is a good number.
Okay, what we'll do 2 new times, 2 old times, and 1 unbelievable elsewhere.
And I'll make the sounds by laughing in different increments.
Well, I have a thing.
Okay, thank
and
you.
we also have a tambourine.
No, I don't like the tambourine.
You don't like the tambourine?
No.
Oh, should have brought the grogger. Okay. And just in case, or don't think I have to show this also. One of the greatest things ever.
Why don't you save it for next week?
You think?
Yes, I think
it'll be closer to the holidays.
Now it's like
we're just getting
12,
on noon. Just getting on noon. We'll do a couple of Greeley crimes and old times.
This is supposed to be a 3-hour show.
I know. Well, no.
9 to 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I warned
10
Eddie.
to 11, 11 to 12.
I told Eddie it would be about an hour of the game, and the game went about an hour and a half.
I feel like it was 2 hours.
Thank you.
It felt like 2 hours.
But in a fun, wonderful way.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
All right, let's do what Greeley Crimes and Old Times is. There are columns in. Did I bring out my? I don't really need it.
What are you looking for?
My
the
folder.
tree. I'll look. What is it? When trees kill, I'll look for it.
That's right. From the Greeley Tribune.
Greeley Tribune image of when trees kill.
This is a real newspaper.
Check out these pictures.
In Greeley, Colorado.
Greeley Tribune, trees that kill.
That has 2.
Check out these pictures.
Yeah, we'll check out those pictures. Did I have it?
Well, here's one.
I must have left the folder in the other room, but
Here's
it's okay.
one of a musician being crushed by a tree. I mean, that's
oh dear. Yeah.
that's a real.
Well, it's nice that it was branching out. A lot of his compositions were kind of lumbering at that point, but
I don't know. They have news stories about.
So anyway, in the Greeley Tribune, although it's a real regular newspaper, every week they have 1 column that is based on phone calls that come into the local police department from people who see weird things going on in the neighborhood. And sometimes the phone calls are weirder than the things that are going on. Those are pretty funny, and it's public record. They can print it in the newspapers for fun. And also our friend of the Daverhood, Mike Peters, goes through the papers from 100 years ago and plucks out the weirdest, funniest items that were in the Tribune back in 1922. So if you're ready, we're just going to do just a couple.
5. I'm counting down 1. Okay.
First item of news. A caller.
Ring,
I like that better than the noises.
I don't have a call.
A caller on 47th Avenue reported. That's them
That's the
reporting.
caller. Yeah.
Reported a vehicle with a baby car seat in the front seat.
Oh, you did this last week.
Did I do that
Yeah.
one? All right, then it doesn't count. Yeah.
You did it, remember?
Now, how about this one?
Okay.
A caller on 6th Street said a man was cussing. Ooh, he was cussing with a sledgehammer in his hands. I don't know. I would stay away from that too. I kind of when John Henry was a little baby,
Who's shooting all the leaves?
he held that fucking hammer in his hands. He said, "Take this motherfucking hammer."
Okay, move on. That's 2.
No, one didn't count because I
Okay.
did it last week. Here's another one. A caller
Bring, 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 bring.
near a church at 9th Avenue
Yeah.
said a barefoot woman ripped a solar light out of the ground and took off yelling at people walking down the sidewalk.
Well, that's just a normal day. I don't think.
know.
What's the problem there?
I want to have her on my show. You know why?
Why?
Because she'd make a great panelist. Aha! Aha! Comedy.
Where are these
It's
coming
leaves.
from?
It's called, honey, stray beaver cat thing. What the hell is as a cat?
Where's the?
It sort of looked like a raccoony thing,
Let
but it's
me
a
see-
cat.
Yeah, let me see him.
Oh, he went behind the things and he's
Oh, okay.
he's out. Oh, no, he's moving there. You can sort of
You
see his
see him?
shadow. Now he's stopped again. Don't know what he's doing. He's gray. He's gray with a kind
He's
of
pretty.
a
Okay.
black. You see him?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
he's
do.
moving.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he's cute.
It's a puggy
Look at
tat.
him.
I did talk puggy tat.
Oh, I like him.
Yay!
He looks well fed, as we say.
I like a well-fed pussy.
Okay,
I
keep
do.
going. Number
Okay,
3.
yes,
Is this
yes.
3 or
You must
2?
be hungry because
I'm
we're
starving.
All right, here we go.
Do you
Let's go
notice that
old
your
time.
shirt matches the flowers, all the purple flowers?
Yeah, well, I wanted to kind of. And it was a Halloween-y
Here,
sort
I'll
of
get a
thing.
picture of you while you're doing
Ooh,
your show.
Thank you so much.
Because it's good lighting. It's very good light. The
Yeah.
sunlight, you know. Oh,
Well, I'm backlit actually.
no,
but,
but
yeah.
it looks good. Let's see. I'm going to try it. As long as the tree doesn't kill you.
Get me while I'm doing my show. This is old times, by the way. This is something that was in the newspapers.
Now look
back
at me in
in-
smile pose. Wait, let's do it. Wait, okay. Oh,
Hello.
that looks great.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, cute face, cute face. Okay, now you're reading your stuff.
Reading my stuff in a serious way.
Okay. Okay, now, like, you know, they're... Okay, I'm going to show you.
Well, show them. Show.
I'm going to bring them up. You tell me.
Okay, but from
Look at the lighting. It's wonderful.
100 years ago, in the newspapers, back in 1922, here's an item that was in the Greeley Tribune. It was called the Tribune Republican back then. 5... Oh, that's pretty good.
Right, look.
You caught me in the... Oh,
Look at that
sexy me.
Okay.
Oh, oh, look how sexy I am in
one. I'm
that.
telling you.
And I
so
am not a sexy
you just,
person.
like, scroll that way.
Yeah.
Move, okay, you
Here we
show
go,
it.
here we
Yeah.
go. Look. Oh, shit.
I'm
Oh,
I'm
it's just
sorry.
that, just that. Okay.
And then just
Pretty
swipe, yeah.
nice, a little bit, you know.
Oh, yeah, there you
There we
go.
go. Look at me.
Ooh.
Look at me.
It's you and you.
Very bold, but kind of
Oh, you look
sexy.
great.
And then
Look at that
that.
one. That's
yeah.
like a author on a cover of a book, right?
That's really like, ooh.
The light's very good, and that's you
Uh,
pretending to work, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't know that. But
And
that's,
then-
that's,
okay, no, I
that one
don't-
didn't happen.
And let me see.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, hold on.
I don't know how many more. And then
Oh,
let me
that-
see.
I like that one.
I do too. Let me see.
I
if
like
there's-
that one.
You look very okay. So there's one more. This is the last
Joyce
one.
has always been my headshot photographer. That one's good too.
That one is my favorite. Look at your smile. I've never seen you smile like that. This is good lighting.
This is good.
Yeah, I got the good lighting for you, honey.
I'm a sexy beast. I really
At least
am.
you're not doing googly eyes with that thing.
That's true. All right. 5 Greeley hunters.
What are we up to?
Well, we're up to 2 of the old times now. What are we up to? This is 100 years ago.
Yeah, but we had 4 or 5 of them you read.
No, I read 2. I
Okay,
literally
keep going,
read
keep
2,
going, keep
plus
going.
1 from last week.
Okay,
So
keep
that
going.
didn't count.
Okay, keep going.
But this is the first old-timey thing.
Okay.
5 Greeley hunters went into the mountains this week
Uh-oh.
and came home with 2 two-horned deer. They said because of the number of hunters on the mountain,
Yeah.
it was very dangerous. One hill was covered with 40 hunters shooting in all directions. I just have this image of, like, Dick Cheney. Like, well,
Yeah,
these hunters
that's
100
not
years
good.
ago. It's like,
That's not good. That could be very dangerous.
oh, honey.
What?
I do have to use this. We have,
Eighth and eighth?
we have a chicken alert.
Peacock.
Chicken alert!
No, do like this. Peacock, peacock.
Peacock,
The chicken.
peacock, 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 peacock. Chicken
I'll get a
alert.
chicken of that. A picture of that. Drink
So,
your tea,
chicken alert is when we have a story that involves a chicken.
which is very often. It's not really special anymore because every other story is about some chicken.
Well, especially from 100 years ago. Glenn Cowley is the Grover Poultry Club winner in a chicken
Ooh.
selling contest.
Nice.
He sold 109 chickens
Wow.
at 75 cents
None
each.
of which were his.
No, yeah, he just
He
finds
steal them from the neighbor.
Yeah, for a profit of $41.99. Wow.
Good for him. It's like Girl Scout cookies. It's the predecessor to Boy Scout and Girl Scout cookies.
Well, I can still go into like Wegmans or something and buy a roast chicken for $7.99. I think that's still pretty good.
It
you know.
is. Yeah.
All right. As promised, we'll do one or two more, but we got to do the elsewhere. This is
Okay.
this. Oh my God. OMG.
You look so pretty in the pictures, huh?
Mm.
You're pretty.
Honey.
Yeah.
This is from the New York Post.
Is it 8th and 8th?
No.
Oh,
No. This is new. This is New York Post.
Oh, okay.
It is. I'm reading this. I'm reading this from the New York Post.
Yeah.
Notated it here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the biggest professional sports scandal
Oh no.
you've never heard.
Is it doping? They doping? They
No,
dope?
we're probably dealing with.
Oh,
dopes.
they lie. They lie about age. Like, you know, some of the baseball players are like 20 and they say they're 13 or something.
Is that no? It's not even that. It's not even that. It's,
Doping.
ladies and gentlemen, biggest professional sports scandal you've never heard of. Professional cornhole.
Oh no, no.
I repeat,
Here, I will show you what it looks like. if people want to know.
professional cornhole
My chair's attacking me here. Hold on.
has been rocked by controversy after the top-ranked team was accused of using illegal. That's me. That's my. Accused of using illegal bean bags
What
at
were they
the
doing with that?
2022 controversy.
Cornhole
Wait,
game photo.
what's that? One team was accused of using illegal bean bags at the 2022 American Cornhole League World Championships
There you go.
in August. Cornhole. If you've seen this, there it is. There it is. Cornhole. It's become
What
really
were they,
popular.
Were they weighting it heavy or lighter?
You'll see. You'll see.
I'm trying to
You'll see.
understand
You'll hear.
this. It's a
Because
big
remember, if you've been
controversy.
watching the hot dog eating contest at Nathan's
I have,
on ESPN every year,
Oh, David,
right after they go to cornhole,
you could get a rustic one monogrammed.
a monogram cornhole. I want a
Yes.
monogrammed cornhole,
Look right here.
like a D on my left buttock, a right on the right one. Look at that. Look
Maybe
at that.
for your next birthday, I'll get that for you.
Cornhole is actually fun. It's a
This
fun
one's
game.
beautiful. Look at
I
this
know.
one. They have the states too.
I don't want that one with the
No, the states.
like,
That's
yeah.
the states. Look at that.
We get one from Maryland.
And they have one that lights up. You want to? Oh, that's
I want
$179.
so we at night we can go out and play.
$274.
Okay, maybe we don't want to buy a
Can't we get
an
it?
outdoor cornhole.
Oh, this is pretty. Like each state has one.
Ooh.
Here, I'll see if I can find one for Maryland. I don't
Yes.
know. I'm looking.
Please.
It's it's like selected.
But hon, there's so much more to this story. There's so much more to this story about professional cornhole and scandal rocking the tournament that happened
by
in August.
National Park too, you could get it.
Oh, really? Ooh, that'd be
So
nice.
I don't know if they weighted the bags or not.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. Here's the deal. They've dubbed this bag gate. The incident began when player Devin Harbaugh complained that rival opponents Mark Richards and Philip Lopez were using smaller than regulation bags.
Oh, because they could cheat.
Right, because you got a hole. It's got to go.
Shame
It's
on
like using a
them.
tinier golf ball or something. Or yeah.
Shame on them.
According to ACL regulations, cornhole bags must be 6 by 6 inches and weigh 16 ounces.
Well, that's only fair.
Okay? If you've got 6 inches, you want to make sure your bag is
Why would-
appropriate
if,
sized.
You know, it's like when they shave the ball with when the baseball players use the emery board.
Yeah, and
That's illegal.
you should not be shaving your balls if you are
I'm
a
gonna put in
baseball
Maryland
player.
cornhole game photo Maryland.
Yeah.
Do you want to join a league?
It might be fun.
Well,
And bowling hurt my shoulder. I can probably do
it's
cornhole.
better than what's the other thing you like? Curling.
Curling is that's a lot
look
of.
at this one.
Oh, show me a cornhole.
There's a
thing.
couple Maryland ones too. Which do you like?
I don't know if like the sunshiny Japanese like rising sun image.
That's to help you know where to put the cornhole ball. the
Oh, I
cornhole
think I know where to
bag.
put my cornhole
Oh,
bag.
look at this one. Whoa.
Whoa, let me see.
They have crabs.
Oh, look at this thing. Where's the hole?
Right there. It's the
Oh,
crab
let me
drinking
show
beer.
people. Because this is the Maryland flag colors.
Yeah.
A crab on it, a beer, and of course,
cornhole?
The hole where the beanbag goes. No, is the crab holding the mallets? Why is there a mallet? There shouldn't be a mallet.
Because that's what you crack the crab with.
Oh, of course.
Look at this one. This is beautiful. This is just old line state. Look at this.
Oh, show me. Oh, that's kind of cool. I wonder if there's a potato cornhole.
I'll look here.
Please, if there's one where it's an image of a potato.
Yeah, but it might not be what you want. So.
It might not be. It might not be what I want. Okay. But I want to tell you more about...
You could make the bags like potatoes.
Absolutely. We can also find a piece of wood, drill a hole in it, and
Honey,
get a bag.
Us.
And
we could get someone to drill a hole.
Yeah, that's true. Joyce knows my handiness.
Oh, goodness.
And my Jewishness.
Look
yes.
at this.
It's like a cornhole.
Yes, you can get one that has images of potato foods.
Or...
You can get a man and woman. I'm just looking to see. Oh, honey.
What the hell? What?
I don't know what that is.
They're not seeing that. We've got to show it to them.
They don't want to see that.
They don't see that.
No one. Nobody wants to see that here.
This one they can show. That looks really cute.
And look, you can put whatever you want on it. Your text here.
Oh, honey, we have to get...
whoa.
Oh, no. We have to get that. I'm going to show you in a
For
moment,
$231.
Worth every penny. Maybe it's Canadian.
Oh, each one. You could do like each one. See?
One of those is $230?
I believe so, yeah.
That's a little... But here they are. Look at him. Look at this.
It's adorable. We could probably do it. If you got me the... Let me see if there's a kit. Because if I can get a kit, I could paint it.
Yeah.
I could paint something on it, you know?
And we can play cornhole all winter long. Like we can bring it indoors.
Yeah.
Go in the living room. Make up a bag from like a hefty bag.
No.
Fill it with stuff.
No.
No? No.
Oh,
Oh, well.
honey, that would be an NO.
Well, let me tell you more about the tournament here.
Okay.
The bag gate. So one guy complained that the other team was using smaller than regulation
But
bags.
wouldn't they weigh them before they have the...
Well, you get to bring your own.
but wouldn't they weigh it? Like, say, bring your own stuff, but they would, like,
and do it by
check
the
the
ounce.
board
I guess
and measure it. And,
honey,
you know.
it's cornhole.
Yeah,
Nobody
but-
really had a
But
reason
it's
to
official.
care.
You know, it's a game, yeah.
Well, according to ACL regulations, cornhole bags need to weigh 16 ounces, literally a pound.
A pound,
right?
okay.
Okay.
That makes
I
sense.
thought the bags were too thin. Harbaugh told the Wall Street Journal, and he was right.
Wow.
Officials confirmed it. Said ESPN's cornhole color commentator.
Yes.
Okay, let's understand that the ESPN has
What kind of
cornhole
job?
color.
I mean, like, all the jobs you get. It's a good job, though, because it's fun.
I don't know if I were color commenting on cornholes, is it well they're brown?
That's nice.
Mark Pryor said, "quote That's going to create some drama."
I think that disqualifies the team.
Well, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Lopez and Richards then requested that the bags for Harbaugh's team be inspected.
Of course.
And those were not compliant.
So why don't they just say, we're going to give you the equipment, and then it's
Well,
fair.
from now on. So
Yeah.
a 1-hour delay ensued before officials determined all the violations were not intentional, actually.
Yeah.
They decided to continue the competition and its $15,000 cash prize,
That's a
which
hefty
is about
prize.
1/10 millionth of the Powerball jackpot.
I think it's great. I mean,
know.
that's a good prize.
Believe it or not, I want you to guess on this. Top players
Mm-hmm.
can make up to how much in deals and endorsements?
$10?
Actually,
$10.95.
$10.95, actually a little more than that. Top cornhole
Oh, is
players.
it probably like the food eaters? Yeah.
They can make up to $250,000.
God
That's more
bless
than Joey Chestnut makes from endorsements.
No, it's not.
You think he makes
No,
a...
He has his own brand of food.
All right, yeah.
Like sauces and stuff. They're making money.
So this is why players have been boiling their bags, which sounds really
Why?
painful, or washing them with vinegar that makes them more pliable.
Oh, more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they fit in because a square is not going to fit in the cornhole, but if it's mushy, it
Mushier.
goes,
Yeah, it's not illegal, apparently.
Yeah, but then they should say it.
Yeah.
It sounds like rain, but it's just.
It's leaves coming
I
down.
think it's pine needles. It's the pine needle statement. That's what that is. That's pine
They're
needles.
pining for us.
See, these are pine needles because I swept the leaves. Now you're getting pine needles. Yeah.
For example, cornhole professional Nate Boyer told the Wall Street Journal he washes his bag with fabric softener.
Oh, that's smart.
But what does he do with his cornhole bag? Suppose.
Keep going. This is your last one. So
I know. I
enjoy it.
saved this for last.
Okay. Of course you did.
Both Harbaugh and Lopez.
I'm gonna get you. There's one for the desk,
Nice.
like a desk cornhole set.
Yeah, but
I'll
that's
show you.
a fake little thing.
No,
it's a
you could.
game
You don't
thing.
want to play that?
Maybe I would.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you that.
Give me a desk cornhole
I am.
set.
I'm gonna get
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
Desk cornhole
Or
set.
curling. I'm not sure. One of the two. Cornhole or curling. They should have curl hole. I guess for people with curly hair. We're playing curl hole now.
Oh, look.
What?
It's a little tiny look.
Yes, kid, we've seen these before. Oh no, we've seen them as
They have it
curling.
at Michael's. You want
Do they
it?
really?
Yeah.
We have to get that next time we're at Michael's.
Look. See, it's got the little
How much is it?
game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's online only, of course.
Oh.
It's $12.
It's
13.
only
Look
oh,
at it.
we're getting that. We're so getting here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to show this to everybody here.
Yeah.
At Michael's.
And I'll look for you for bowl. What's the other one?
Well, curling.
I'm going to look that up.
This
too.
is a desk cornhole set.
I don't know. It might be too small.
might not be
Oh,
regulation.
It's really cute, though.
I
Oh, my
know.
God. Look at the little tiny... Like, that's really cute.
It's
it might be hard to
fantastic.
play, though.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's not like really taking a bag and like.
Oh, and they have one, look. They have one you can personalize and you play with the coins. You flip coins.
Oh, flip coins into the
And
cornhole.
what's the other one called? Curling.
Those kind of like Andy Warhol's autopsy. Let's see what's in there.
Curling desk set.
Eric Marvin, both Harbaugh and Lopez declared their non-regulation bags were completely unintentional, though now the ACL, which is the American Cornhole League, has begun cracking down on the size and weight of competitive bags. Eric Marvin, president of the American Cornhole Association, which, by the way, calls itself the original and official governing body of cornhole.
Oh, look
That
at
is literally
this.
their full title.
You can play curling for like $10.99 too.
Yeah, the ship little desktop
Look at-
things.
look.
Can you really play on? Oh, maybe you can.
Yeah, look, it's got the little.
Remember, we were
thing
going to buy that
and
years ago.
flags and-
Yeah, look.
It's cute.
Remember, oh, it's on sale. It's 15% off. We gotta get this like immediately. Curling and cornhole.
Mm-mm.
Really? No? No?
Okay, so that's your last one. Do you call
Well, wait,
it
I'm not
Limerick
finished yet.
and then-
They're saying that new team rules and regulations will be announced by the end of the year.
Of course.
And that is the whole
You have
story.
to keep consistency.
I love these corny stories, don't you? Oh,
Walmart has it.
they all have a kernel of truth in them.
Oh.
You know what other sportsman would have been a good cornhole player?
Who?
Ty Cobb.
Oh.
Yeah. I amaze myself. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thank you very much. And that, my friends, is Greeley Crimes and, speaking of Groucho Marx, old times.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
Oh, no, he wasn't.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi-yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Well, see, mini golf I like. I mean, I like all these things, but ladies and gentlemen, the original and official governing body of cornhole has reminded me to tell you that you can watch old episodes of Dave's Gone By, almost every episode we've ever done, all 860 something prior to these,
Crazy.
at davesgoneby.com, DAVESGONEBY.com. You can also go to archive.org, archive.org, for all our archives as well. All the interviews, as well as all the complete broadcast recordings. Remember that the first 16, 17 years were audio only. We were a radio show. And then the last 4 or 5 years, we now have, of course, this video program. You can also find our audio at castbox.fm on the Dave's Gone By channel there. You can find our page on YouTube with hundreds and hundreds of hours of our content there as well. And what else? No, I think, and please, if you're looking for a different website to check out, remember davelefkowitz.org. That is a place that you can read my plays, read my song lyrics, read stories that I wrote about the theater and about other things, and interviews that I've done with people. It's like more than 1,000 pieces of written work that I've done over the years, and they're all archived for free at davelefkowitz.org. Please check them out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a fun time we've had. Again,
excellent.
this was a show I didn't really want to do. I'm so damn busy. I've got so much, but Eddie Brill was available.
What
I was
a
like,
great guest,
let's do this. He was wonderful.
I told you Leslie's going to be so sad she missed the show.
I know, right? But it was so great to have Moshe on.
Yeah.
So great to have Vicki on. So great to have Rabbi
a lot of really
Saul.
good quiz players.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, something about the quiz brings out the best in all these people.
I think people have contextual knowledge, so they relate what they know.
Yeah. And when I first put the quiz together, like a couple of years ago, or two, it was post-pandemic actually, it wasn't that long ago. The idea was, I'll write like 10 questions and it'll take like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, right.
and it became this thing.
It blossomed.
Yeah.
It blossomed.
Now, speaking of things that contract, the opposite of blossom is what happens when I do our Colorado Limerick.
Cringing, shame.
Cringing, de-blooming.
I'll just look at the happy, beautiful David while you make the naughty talk.
Deteriorating. Moshe Denburg has been busy composing. Gail Green's been busy decomposing. Now we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. This is where every week I make a poem about a place in the wonderful land of Colorado. It could be a big city, tiny, tiny little hamlet, or Hickburg, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I can. Why do I even have this on? Let me see what we're showing here. Oh, there I am. Hello. How do you do? So, today, for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, we're going to Hillside, Colorado. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Hillside, and then we're going to read an awful 5-line, that's a great shot, awful 5-line poem about Hillside, Colorado. And then you're going to go like, oh my God. I sat through 3.5 wonderful hours of Dave's Gone By just to hear this. Yes, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
You're the poetry man. A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain, Colorado, Colorado, Colorado.
Oh, Colorado, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Rocky Mountain, we're getting high here with the Colorado Limerick of the Oh, it turned into
I made it, yeah.
Look at that. Da 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 da.
I made that for you, David.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Are you ready for a poem about Hillside, Colorado?
Yes.
You're probably not, but here we go.
No, I'm not. I'm scared.
Have you heard of Hillside, Colorado?
The Hillside Strangler?
Could have come from there. Hillside is a small community in south central Colorado. It started as a ranching community, and they had a post office there. Like always, they start with a post office. And a big dance hall.
Oh, nice.
That now serves.
Did they have any polka disco?
They do, because it's like a wedding venue.
Oh, good. Okay, polka disco, good.
Yeah. So you can have events there. It's really the only thing in town. Their official website says, this is true, quote, tiny town, huge views, dark skies.
Oh.
And they have cottages and hiking trails and old willow trees that the place is known. It's beautiful. It's Hillside, Colorado. Except this poem is not beautiful at all, but it's not filthy. You can leave the kids in the room. They'll just be scarred for life. There was an old junkie from Hillside whose brain was both needle and pill fried. She snorted a drug and collapsed on the rug. They tried CPR, but she still died.
Oh.
That is our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for this Saturday, November 5th, 2022. Please send your comments, complaints, and sound effects to Dave's Gone By at AOL.com. DAVESGONEBY. Dave's Gone By at AOL.com. You can also message me on the Facebook page, or you can direct message me, or just post under a previous program. Would love to hear from you, your thoughts on the show. Would love that you tell more people about the show. Spread the word. Tell folks that I'm here and that the show is still here, even though we're probably not going to be on for another week or two. Might do it on Thanksgiving weekend.
That's what you say now.
I know. Well, we'll see. But it's been delightful
Yes.
Doing
Wonderful
this
show.
November 5th show with you, with my darling, adorable,
Oh, and let's
and
put
wonderful
on the
wife, Joyce.
the new David emoji. You talk and I'll
Oh,
get the emoji.
gotta show that to end the program here. Thank you one more time to Eddie Brill. Go see him and his son doing comedy next Saturday night at Pangea over on 2nd Avenue and 11th Street in Manhattan. Get your tickets. It's at Pangea next Saturday night. And of course, go see Vicki Quade at the Greenhouse doing Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun? And also Late Night Catechism. That is this weekend. Go see her in Chicago. Here I am. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who does an opening of a show like that? There used to be a couple of
I think
talk
it's
show
really
things.
good. Yeah, this will be good for your tweeters.
And then what else? Oh, and of course I can't forget Moshe Denburg. Go to Tzimis.net. TZIMMES.net. Tzimis.net for all
You look
about
so
his
nice
music,
in
his
these pictures,
appearances. Thank you, dear. Yeah. And thank you to Joyce, and thank you to Rabbi Saul Solomon.
And the person who arranged the interview, you normally thank them.
Thank you, Beck Lee.
I mean,
Beck
that's
from
you
Media
normally
Blitz.
thank the
Thank you.
people, yeah.
Media Blitz, Beck Lee for setting up the interview with Eddie Brill. Yeah, big solid to you, Beck.
Yeah, what a great guest. What a great time you all had.
And don't forget Rabbi Saul, shalomdammit.com.
Yeah. I don't know if he's doing stuff. He's pretty much...
You know, Rabbi Saul is sleeping a lot these days.
He's taking it more easy.
But he was great to have doing the interview with Eddie Brill. Find out more about him, shalomdammit, DAMMIT.com. Well, it's 12:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time here in the Daverhood.
It's good we get an hour back. Tell them to flip their clocks.
But don't forget,
Jump back, right? Fall back.
So the next time we see you, whether it's next week or 2 or 3 weeks from now, but there will be another episode of Dave's Gone By. Don't forget your Dave's going by. Have a great time. Enjoy this incredible East Coast weather for at least a little while longer. It's been great being with you today. Anything you want to share with folks?
No, just don't forget to fix your clocks. Otherwise, you'll be,
Change your clocks tonight. Get that extra hour of sleep. And gone by.
Days gone by, they're gone by. Days gone by, they're gone by. Days gone by, they're gone by.
Look how much lighter my shirt looks in some of the pictures than sort of more
it's the
purpley,
sun,
and
it's
that's
the
bluer.
sun,
Yeah. Well, I don't have a son, but if I did, I want them to be just like all of you. See you soon, folks, and gone by.